Remember, Hocevar to the rear for alternator trouble. Everybody else on the inside lane moves up a row. Here they come out of turn number 4. Green flag, and the Straight Talk Wireless 500 is underway.
It won't take long. There they go. Way down on the apron for Byron.
Well, they all made it, so that's the first accomplishment of getting through turn 1, all that chaos, and now these guys are trying to feel where they need to be on the racetrack. Traffic is obviously tough in these cars, but you're going to see some guys shoot to the bottom right here that are trying to gain track position, and others try to take care of their car and keep it up on the racetrack.
And who used it best? William Byron, up 3 spots already. Great start for him.
Wow, 5 wide going into the corner there. Kevin, you mentioned how hard it is on the car and on the driver, dropping down and hitting that apron. What does it do to the tire?
Well, it shocks that tire because it bottoms out right there, so the tire winds up taking all the load and not the suspension. So that damages that tire if you hit it too many times. So you got to be really careful about going down on that apron. But in the race, you just don't have a choice. You've got to go down there to protect your position or gain a position, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Now out in front of the leaders, Zane Smith, in addition to having to start at the rear for unapproved adjustments, also had to do a pass-through penalty under green to start the race. So he'll be in danger of perhaps a lap down to Joey Logano here.
These two right here can't get it sorted out. William Byron has been working on Suarez. By the way, Daniel Suarez in that Spire Motorsports car unloaded fast and is hanging tough right here. They are working hard door to door.
Yeah, and what a great qualifying effort by Suarez. And now you see him under fire from William Byron on the inside right there. But we expect William Byron to be a contender along with that car right behind them, Ryan Blaney.
He won't go away. And every lap they do, they see move up and look, open the door for Blaney. Try to move him up the racetrack, but Suarez will not go away. Every lap they do that, it slows him down and gives somebody else an opportunity, and that is Blaney.
Reddick, the black car, trying to advance here on Ross Chastain. 5 cars in a very tight pile here. And they're about to be joined by another Denny Hamlin in the 11.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about Denny Hamlin, but he absolutely dominated this race last year. It's been really quiet on the driver's side for Denny Hamlin and what we expect him to do. But on the ownership side, it's been really good.
Kevin, you told us and you asked Logano. We heard Logano tell us that outside would open up, and it's on display right there with Reddick rolling right around the 24.
Clear, all clear.
Yeah, and you see this on board with this Bob's Discount Furniture camera and on board of Denny Hamlin. He's able to get through the center of the corner. You got to be able to turn the car at the end of the first third of the corner to be able to get through that center of the corner. And these guys are going to have a lot of options on this end of the racetrack down here in 1 and 2. You heard Joey Logano refer to it to start the race about this track really widening out. On a hot day like this, at this particular racetrack, you've got to have a versatile car because you can't just ride right behind them in one line.
Now Carson Hocevar, we mentioned, had to start in the rear because of that alternator change. He's picked up 8 spots already. He had qualified 7th, and there's that 77 headed back toward the front.
And that makes for a long day. He had a great qualifying effort, as his Spire teammates did as well. But when you put that car in the back of the pack, it takes that opportunity to probably score stage points in the first stage. We talk so much about points. As you see the 41 car, Cole Custer, lock that left front tire. Easy to do right there.
Kevin, all right. I heard you say you have to have a versatile car, be able to move around the racetrack. You can't go through them. You got to go around them, go where they're not. When you're running that outside versus the bottom, walk us through what it takes driving-wise behind the wheel to drive that different line.
Well, when you're going to run the top line here, you have to still drive the car into the corner, and it's a really unique situation because in these cars, the bottom or the top, you transfer from the brake. As soon as you get off the brake, you don't want to have any time between when you touch the throttle. So a lot of partial throttle. You adjust that from the bottom of the racetrack to the top and how far you carry that.
Still down there, 77.
Larry?
Yeah, I've been watching these guys shifting, and they're going between third and fourth. And now that the pace has slowed down, what Kyle Larson is doing, he is staying in third gear off of turn 2 down the back straightaway, where Logano and Cindric are actually going to high. Larson is staying in third all the way down the back straightaway through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and it's actually from 4th to 5th right there. And for me, I always like to leave it in 4th gear down the back straightaway because it kept me from overdriving the corner. See right there, Larson left it in 4th gear that lap. If you leave it in 5th gear, I always thought that it made the car tighter getting in the corner, and you were harder on those front tires. So as they go from new tires and get more laps on these tires, you'll start seeing more and more of them leave it in 4th gear.
Well, they better find a better gear because this 12 car is in high gear. That thing is flying, guys. Blaney on the move.
Yeah, and when you get a little gap in between cars, you're going to see a lot of guys make up lap time until they catch somebody to a certain distance. But Blaney's notorious for being able to turn the center of the corner better and make better lap time on these long runs.
Big weekend for Roger Penske. He was the keynote speaker at a big dinner Friday night to raise several $100,000 for Folds of Honor, and all the Penske IndyCar and NASCAR teams were all honored at the 60th anniversary of Team Penske celebration last night. All that happening up at the Penske complex in North Scottsdale. Roger must be smiling now. He's got the top 3 spots: Logano, Cindric, Blaney, with Larson Chevy in 4th and Tyler Reddick's Toyota moving up past Suarez to 5th. 14 of 60 laps complete in stage 1 in the Arizona desert.
Line.
Welcome back to the Straight Talk Wireless 500 from Phoenix on FS1. Logano, Blaney, Cindric, 3 Fords out front. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven legendary. The battle is at 4th, where Reddick has passed Kyle Larson, and for 6th, Denny Hamlin has moved up past Daniel Suarez.
Well, I'd say that Kyle Larson's worries were valid, Clint. You can see that car sliding the back right there, but he was really concerned and not happy with his car after practice yesterday in race trim. He qualified well, but it looks to me like they've got some work to do on this 5 car.
Big battle for 25th as Carson Hocevar, who started in the rear, has finally gotten alongside Riley Herbst. They had quite a battle and a little bit of contact on the way.
Crossing back over after working on him for about 12 laps, Kevin. That's always frustrating here, huh?
Well, and when you get in traffic like this, ooh, some pretty big contact right there in the dog leg.
I think that was that frustration I'm talking about.
And that's what you hope. You don't get too frustrated and get your car tore up.
Let's listen to Hocevar's radio.
Be smart with him. I know he's a nuisance. I know it's frustrating. We will get by him. Be cool with your car.
Easy for the spotter to say, counseling patience, but
important. And
very needed.
That goes back, but that goes back several weeks, right? We talk about when you race people hard, when you're starting to back like that, you get raced harder from a lot of the cars that seem to have issue with it. So Carson still got it done, got himself clear of the situation, no damage.
Yep, Tyler Green, the spotter, and yeah, that was good advice. Let's go up to the front, and Jamie.
Well, it's a full Penske immersion weekend. Yesterday we had the NASCAR Cup drivers out here on pit road watching the IndyCar drivers. Today it's opposite. All the IndyCar drivers on pit boxes. Scott McLaughlin on top for Joey Logano's box has his headset on. Joey Logano has a special paint scheme here. It was actually Scott McLaughlin's race-winning paint scheme from the Bathurst 1000 in 2019. One of the biggest races in the world, one of the hardest to win. There's Scotty right there. That is his co-driver to his left. It's all part of the 60th anniversary for Penske Racing, and yesterday they picked up their 651st career win as an organization. Wigan?
Well, Jamie, you're looking at Joey Logano there, but his teammate Ryan Blaney, who we're showing right now, having a very strong run. This car extremely quick, and we always talk about how good Ryan Blaney is on the long runs, but crew chief Jonathan Hassler told me today a focus of theirs was to fire off a little bit quicker with that 12 car, and evidently, as we're 25 laps into this race right now, that has been successful with their goal. We'll have to see where it goes as we get further into the run, but the team's goal to be good early is definitely paying off.
Yeah, Blaney right now is the fastest of the top 3, which are all Penske cars, by about a 10th and a half. We were able to sit in on Blaney's team meeting this morning.
Thinking about the year so far, I think we're doing a good job of just hitting our mark and being solid, week in and week out, of just trying to be better every single day. Obviously it's been a really good track for Ryan and the whole group, and I think as we've talked, each and every week, we just make sure we're communicating all day long on how we're running, what kind of speed we have in our car, and what kind of risks we need to take on, make sure that we come home with the best finish we can, and the points that the car is capable of. So let's go have a good day.
Well, they are, and they're putting a dent in that lead quickly. Kevin, you see what I did there?
Yeah, well.
But it's going to be perfect timing. Let me go to this. If you look just a pinch further than that as he's approaching them, the other thing is they're starting. There's a lap car. That's the opportunity. You see the 22 in the mirror starting to move around. What's he doing different than me? Asking a spotter. He's looking in the mirror, trying to figure out a better way around this racetrack because he's about a tenth to a tenth and a half slower than Blaney.
Well, what Blaney's doing is running the preferred correct line. And what Logano is doing is looking for somewhere, because his car won't run the bottom of the racetrack. I love the fact that Ryan Blaney can run those right sides on the yellow line through turns 1 and 2. That line gets rubber. It's got a little trough in it. You can lean on that, but you can't do it if your car's not turning like it needs to. So that tells me Logano's either tight through the middle or he can't get the power down on the exit and loose off.
Larry?
Yeah, guys, I've not really heard what Joey Logano has been telling Paul Wolf, but the general consensus is everybody is fighting loose. We're about halfway through this run through stage 1, and what the crew chiefs are telling them, you've got to take care of that right rear tire. Don't spin that right rear tire.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, because when that right rear tire decides that it's all done, you literally can't drive the car.
Now that car out in front of Joey Logano is Zane Smith, who had to do that pass through. He's done a great job of staying on the lead lap, but Logano is closing in, and Smith may need a caution to be able to stay there. There's the Ford Racing camera on board Zane Smith.
And as you look back at Joey Logano, our leader right there, The one thing that we were concerned about with Logano was when he gets to this traffic, because that's always the strength of a car that turns better, is being able to turn when you get that dirty air from the car in front of you.
Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney have finished 1-2 at Phoenix in 2 out of the last 7 races here. Ryan Blaney has caught Joey Logano, made a move to the inside. That did not pay off, not yet. Now they have 2.7 seconds on third place Austin Cindric. Early in the race on lap 2, Logano set the Xfinity fastest lap of the race so far. Zane Smith tracking right with him. Smith has now gone a lap down, but he's the only car 1 lap down. He'll get that back should we have a caution flag.
Oh, you see that right there. And this is why you have to have a versatile car, because Joey Logano's defense now is to try to put his car right in front of Ryan Blaney's car to put that dirty air on the nose of his car. You saw him move down the racetrack. I would not give Blaney the bottom of the racetrack down here, because he's just better through the center of the corner. So
yeah, but the only way you can contain that is to hold him down. And if he gets on the outside of you, if indeed that car is tight, he gets on the outside of you, you're cooked. Let him have that bottom.
Clint, top of the day, you talked about the big 3 teams. They now occupy 9 of the top 10 spots. Penske has the first 3. 23, 11, and Gibbs have the next 3. Toyota's moving into positions 4, 5, 6. Then there's Byron Larson and Ty Gibbs completing the top 10. There are your big teams rising to the top.
Just like we expected.
Yeah, and a car that's better than I thought he was going to be is Tyler Reddick. He's actually got some great lap times, and the further part that you go into this run, the longer you go into the run, always a strength of those Toyotas, that long run speed. And Blaney has been really good on the long run, notoriously everywhere, but those Toyotas do a good job as well.
Now here's Reddick about to pass Austin Cindric for third. Can't complete the pass right there. And it sounds from the radio like Reddick is having some issues.
+6 on bias. I'm feeling a little shake start. Is there anything I can do with the bias to help it?
No, I would just say turn your fans on if you've gone forward on bias. Just try that. I think just be conscious of that little bit of brake pressure you have in the late braking zone. That's probably what initiates that the most.
The most dreaded 2 words at Phoenix, brake shake.
Well, they've been the team that's had the most problems with brakes. They have exploded rotors. They've had shake. They've had a lot of issues. So not sure what they have going on, but it sounds like that brake shake is there today. And from a driver's standpoint, you do not want that because it'll take that wheel and jerk it back and forth on entry, and you can't use the amount of brake pressure to place that car in the correct spot.
Michael Jordan looking on. He's been at every race this year. He's been in victory lane at every race this year, all 3 of them.
Well, he couldn't be the one to break the streak. He had to keep it going by being at the racetrack. He's been at every race, so you can't say, well, you weren't here, that's why we didn't win. So he's here. Pressure's back on them.
We're talking about these cars up front here. Who's off the pace? Kyle Busch is definitely one of them. Fixing to go a lap down here. He is a lap down. There he is, struggling with the 8 car.
Kyle Busch, Anthony Alfredo.
This could be the opportunity for Blaney, looking to the inside.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised right there that Logano didn't go to the bottom of the racetrack to try to defend. He obviously feels pretty comfortable that he's going to get a good run off the corner like he did right there using that second lane. So.
And he's slowed that momentum down. As he's caught him, he's taken that away, and he's starting to really see him looking to the inside, trying to go where he's not. That's using a lot of tire up.
Yeah, but the thing that he's doing right there, you see 12 struggle down there more than if he ran 3 lanes up the racetrack. So anything he can do to guess what lane Ryan Blaney is going to be him to keep him in that dirty air, the better off he's going to be.
Racing Insights keeps track of things like who is the best defender in the Cup Series, and you're looking at him, Joey Logano. Defending his position, nobody's better.
And pick and choose, getting up through these lappers. You can see now they've moved up. That's forcing Joey to go to the bottom. When you start catching these lappers and they're racing, fending off, trying to stay on that lead lap, it gets harder and harder, especially when they're door-to-door, picking and choosing your battles wisely.
When they're door-to-door like that, it just makes that dirty air twice as bad.
That's Austin Hill in the 33 for Richard Childress Racing, regular in the O'Reilly Series and winner. And Jesse Love drove that car last week. Austin Hill in it this week. They'll have a number of drivers in it throughout the season. And he's got a mirror full of this battle for the lead.
Finally got to that outside. Here he comes. It's exactly what he was wanting, but 3 wide in front of him. Look out.
Where are you going to go? Noah Gragson in the middle.
That 12 car's rolling the middle better. He's looking to the outside. It's exactly what he needed, Kev.
And it's going to be Blaney that breaks through. Here's Joey Logano's radio.
Colby, your radio's breaking up really bad. What do you say, Paul?
Your radio is breaking up, he said.
Your radio, Paul, can you hear him? No, we can't hear him either.
Well, that's pretty annoying.
Yes. Joey Logano led the first 47 laps, surrenders the lead to his Penske Ford teammate Ryan Blaney. The World Baseball Classic continues tomorrow. Team USA takes on Mexico, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Here in Phoenix, 52 laps complete. Race leader Ryan Blaney has run into a stampede of traffic, and they're not moving out of the way for him.
No, I mean, you've got 7 laps left in this stage to be able to get yourself not a lap down or be in the lucky dog position. So they want to fight everything that they can to try to stay in that position and not have to pit with the lap down cars and fight for their life in the next stage to get their lap back.
Drivers like Denny Hamlin, Carson Hocevar, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell moving up, but drivers moving back include Kyle Larson, minus 11 spots from the start, Ricky Stenhouse, minus 9, Connor Zilic, and Kyle Busch. Here's Larson's radio.
Hey, Mike, I feel like I'm going to spin out on the dog leg. That's how no grip I have.
Yep, 10-4. Big changes coming. Keep holding on to it. I know you're fighting all you can.
Now that's a big change because Larson finished in the top 5 the last 3 races here.
Well, let's not forget they have a new body, and I've been telling you guys that balance is hard to get on these cars. And now that you're at a track for the first time, we went to COTA last week and 2 super speedways, getting the balance right on these cars. They are so finicky to be able to get it right so that it's not too loose or too tight.
Regan?
Well, Mike, you see the 5 of Kyle Larson struggling right now, as we just heard, loose, but right behind him, the 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen, having a very good day so far. This racetrack, one that he and the team had highlighted as a big problem last year here in Bristol, the 2 toughest tracks for him. Well, today things are going well. He's looking good right now. The goal today was to get it up to the top 15 and stay there. They said that would be a great day. So far, he's moved up 4 spots.
Thanks, Regan. Race leader Ryan Blaney has now dispensed with most of that pile of traffic. He's still got 2 just ahead of him.
This 45 car is flying now. He has run down these leaders in a big-time hurry.
Yeah, and one reason that he's run those leaders down is because of all that traffic that they're having to deal with, losing 3 or 4 tenths a lap. He's taking big chunks out of it.
100%, and there they are. You can see Logano right in front of him, just getting around Bell, but Bell as well. Bell drove back around him.
3 to go in stage 1.
And this is what we talked about earlier. You get to the end of this stage where was this 22 car going to shut off? Was the 12 going to shut off? Who would start moving their way forward? And the strength at the end of these stages, this is the shortest stage that we're going to have all day, are these Toyotas and moving themselves forward to have a chance at Ryan Blaney.
And what a mess in front of them. Lappers everywhere trying to hold on to stay on that lead lap or to be the lucky dog. Very important right here.
You're going to be locked down to the bottom lane. 1 back, 2 to go. Drop, drop. Headlight lower, still lower by half. Lower, inside, Bell.
Lots of traffic.
Yeah,
Bell right there
and Bell
for the spot.
Yeah, he pins him on the outside right there behind that 88 car of Connor Zilic. So he's going to lose another spot right here at the end of this stage.
Last lap, stage 1. Last fall, stage 1 went caution-free. Looks like it's going to happen again here.
It's good racing, though, so far in this race. There's been a lot of movement, a lot of people struggling with their cars, and some people really capitalizing.
And I really love how they can move around the racetrack. It gives you a lot of options as to what you need to do.
Ty Dillon trying to stay on the lead lap here. And that will happen as Ryan Blaney wins the stage. His 6th stage win at Phoenix, his most of all tracks. Must be the mustache, right? Ryan Blaney for Team Penske and Ford scores the stage win.
First and foremost, what is it that Michael Jordan brings to that organization?
There's just no moment too big to perform in. He's been there, he's done that, and he brings that aura that just greatness follows. And when you have the momentum, you have an owners that expect to win with Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, I think that it becomes easier.
Check out the all-new Fox Sports digital show Speed with Harvick and Buxton, fueled by Poet. Subscribe to Speed on Fox, on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you find your podcasts. Stage 1 complete. Blaney the winner. Daniel Suarez gets his best stage finish here ever. Let's check with Jamie.
Well, Mike, Tyler Reddick obviously been the man of the year, winning the first 3 races. And we know that the drivers, they get most of the attention, right? But in NASCAR, it truly is a team sport, including the pit crew. And Tyler Reddick's pit crew has nailed it so far this season. Let's meet Team 45.
Hunter Masling, front tire changer from Marksville, Louisiana, 2026 Daytona 500 champion.
Dakota Ratcliffe, rear tire changer, Daytona 500 champion.
Wade Moore, tire carrier, 2311 fantasy football commissioner.
Brandon Banks, Jackman, USC Charlotte's first inaugural team and NFL for Washington Commanders.
Brian Deal, fueler, over 30 cup wins.
Well, they are living large on the strength of 3 victories in the first 3 races of this season.
Tricky pit road right here, Mike. Got that corner, had the most speeding penalties in the Gen 7 car.
And here's Regan.
Mike, the 12 car, Ryan Blaney, been very good to start the race. Biggest concern with him, wants the rears to stay with him longer all the way through the corner. In the 45 of Tyler Reddick in the bottom left, we just met his team as they go to work right now. Starts off okay, but it migrates too loose for him, and he was plus 10 to the front on the brake bias. Jamie?
Christopher Bell, so far so good for the 20 car, took off tight, said the rears are actually good, moved up 10 spots there. Joey Logano led a handful of laps early, lost the lead though, needs more turn through the center. That's where he was beat, Mike.
And Logano comes out second to Bell in the race off pit road.
Thank you, boys. Christopher Bell.
Then Blaney, Hamlin, and Reddick. Well, it's an IndyCar NASCAR doubleheader, and we have guests in the booth coming up for stage 2. And downstairs, Chris and Jamie will have guests as well.
Time for a race break. We're live here in Phoenix with Jamie McMurray, Chris Myers from Victory Lane. A couple of Penske drivers from the IndyCar Series. David Malukas, who led the most laps in the IndyCar race yesterday. And, of course, the veteran Scott McLaughlin. Thank you both for stopping in. Team Penske guys, by the way. And already Ryan Blaney getting that first stage. So what are your observations here so far for your colleagues in NASCAR?
I'll tell you that the Penske boys look quick. The 12 car is always quick, as we know around here. So I've seen them win a championship around here. So it's pretty cool to be here again on the doubleheader weekend with Team Penske and IndyCar.
I want to know your perception of just the Cup cars on the track, because when I got here on Friday, I saw the Indy cars go out, and my first thing was they're quiet, and then I saw them on the track, and I'm like, and they're really fast. What stuck out to you that maybe you didn't recognize?
I mean, this is my first NASCAR race since I was still picking my nose and playing with Hot Wheels. I mean, this is so cool, so loud, the energy. I mean, they're going through the dog leg. They're choosing whatever lane they want. I mean, it is awesome. It's so cool to see all the strategy and which lane to use. I'm having a fantastic time out there.
There's no out of bounds.
From Chicago and New Zealand, but in Charlotte. I know you played golf with Ryan Blaney, and of course you've raced in the Legends cars with Bubba Wallace, who's currently 15th. But let's head back upstairs, some familiar faces, as a special guest joins Mike and the guys in the booth.
Thank you, Chris. James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell are with us after calling the IndyCar race yesterday on Fox. And yesterday, Clint Boyer rode in the two-seater. And I got to ask, I know you gave him advice before he hopped in there. Was it good advice or bad advice?
Well, we lied to him.
Don't ask them. I'll tell you, it was terrible advice.
We downplayed it a little bit, but I got to say the soundbite we got out of him was gold.
That was exactly what you were looking for.
100%.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I was set up, Mike.
How was the ride?
My favorite part is you were really uncomfortable before you even started.
I felt I couldn't figure out what I was in. It was kind of like between a bobsled, as I said, right, Townsend, and then an airplane, because there's wings everywhere.
I like that you pointed out that your driver, Gabby Chavez, was short enough that you felt you could just reach over his shoulders if you needed to and take over. But I thought you were just playing up to the camera, but you were legitimately pretty nervous about that because those things are pretty quick.
Yeah, that rocket went way too fast. And I thought we were going to parade the field, right? I thought we were going to go around, get our feet wet a little bit, let the tires warm up. My gosh, the tires. And as soon as it started, I think the throttle stuck, and we never lifted.
You're getting old.
All right, Townsend, you've called the trucks at St. Pete. The NASCAR stuff is a little new for you. First impressions?
Well, I was just hanging out before we came into this booth. We were next door with Larry McReynolds, and what I find so fascinating about NASCAR is the live telemetry that comes off these cars that every team has the ability to study. And what I was looking at was the inputs on the pedals, specifically Joey Logano. So impressed with how nuanced and finessed his brake and throttle inputs are. That guy is smooth.
All right, to finish up pit stops, Larson too fast exiting. He restarts in the back. Ryan Preece slow on the left rear. Michael McDowell gained 8 spots in the pits. We're back to green as they fan out all across the racetrack.
Well, and we've got a new player up front with the 20 car of Christopher Bell. He had a great pit stop, able to get in front of Joey Logano. And that is the one thing that Joey Logano does not want to see, is a car in front of him. We've talked about how they struggle a little bit in traffic, and now he's going to have to battle here with Christopher Bell.
And his teammate as well. You can see Denny right behind him. Go back to the pit stop. Blaney having that stall on the back stretch. A little bit problematic for him. Lost those 2 spots. Going to be harder to get after they make adjustments. But the crew on all those Gibbs cars very fast. Put Bell to the lead.
And we talked about that with the Penske cars, that they may struggle a little bit compared to those Gibbs pit crews. And we saw that right off the bat on that first pit stop. And even with Joey Logano having that first stall and that advantage of not having to go as far, didn't get them the track position that they had before.
Long run speed seems to be the Ford's strong suit here. Where are the Chevys? William Byron back in 8th place as the first Chevy in this race. It's all Toyota and Ford up front.
Yeah, and I think I would probably, I think as we get really far into the run, I would say that the Toyotas probably had the best long run speed. I think that Blaney's probably a little bit better than Joey Logano. I think when you put him in traffic like this, he's going to struggle a little bit more than Blaney because of that turn that we talked about that he's able to achieve.
I want to just keep moving back here. We talked about them, the big 3. Where's the Gibbs cars? They're here, guys. These Toyotas are extremely fast. Even the 19 of Briscoe and his teammate Gibbs on his outside racing right there. Briscoe started this race in 20th.
They're battling for 6th while Denny Hamlin is up to 4th. and looking over Joey Logano for third.
And I think we were probably a little naive to the fact that we got to remember, in this fall race, Denny Hamlin absolutely destroyed them throughout the whole race, except for the last pit stop. But he was the absolute dominant car. And I know that Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney have been the best cars, but as we got to the last 20 laps of that run, that started the shift, and now they're getting to start up front on this restart.
IndyCar guys, I wanted to ask you about the option of the dog leg, right? What do you think about us being able to do that?
Well, I mean, we watched the initial start from outside of 1 and 2, and I was floored. I don't know how the spotters can keep track. When you're 5 wide, what are they saying to 2 down, 2 up? You're in the middle. For me, it's so
good luck.
It's just don't hit anything. It's so cool to see. Not even an option in an Indy car. That's an out of bounds thing for us. Not that the car could physically do it anyway, but it is quite spectacular to see it when you guys have these restarts.
I've been advocating for it on the IndyCar side just for the last lap. Like maybe somebody goes for it and just see what happens. It's so bizarre for us to come here and watch guys run below the apron. At first look, you'd think somebody broke as you see the 45 of Reddick really work the line low to high there at the exit coming off turn 2. James, you told me after you drove your first truck race how surprised you were at the challenge of staying disciplined on when to get the throttle. It's just such a long time off throttle in these things. Talk about that.
Well, it's such a different technique to an Indy car, to an open wheel car. The way that these cars behave, the way these tires behave, like you say, the discipline that you've got to have, it's so easy to overdrive it. We kind of saw that out of Reddick right there a little bit.
Yeah, and these cars are a lot different than that truck. Like at this particular racetrack, you're going to initially spike the brake, bleed off of that brake, and you want to transition right to the throttle pedal to get that right rear loaded. With the independent suspension and the way that these cars are kind of funky, but here, that braking technique that you talked about, Townsend, with Joey Logano, that is something that is definitely the key to making your car put it to where you want it in the corner. So a lot of different styles depending on how your car is handling.
One of the guys that I've been watching is the 97 SVG. I was teammates with him at Daytona one year for the 24. And what's remarkable about him is he's a big guy. He has finesse like you wouldn't believe. He has the softest touch on the pedals. And I think in a stock car at, 3,400 pounds, you're controlling so much of the pitch of the car with your feet. I know he doesn't have stock car knowledge on the ovals. That's what he's building, but he knows the technique to be smooth.
He's got a high racing IQ, and that's what really matters. He's a quick learner, and I think as he knows that he needs to get better on the ovals, and when you challenge somebody with a racing IQ that high, they're going to figure it out.
He is in 13th position. Back at the stage break, Riley Herbst got the free pass, so he's back on the lead lap. 26 lead lap cars led by Christopher Bell, who won the last 2. 85 laps complete in the Straight Talk Wireless 500 at Phoenix. Christopher Bell out front, Ryan Blaney 1 second back, and Joey Logano about to fall into the clutches of Tyler Reddick for third.
Yeah, well, we saw him start moving up the racetrack, Clinton, and when you start moving up the racetrack like that, you're looking for one of those two things that we talked about earlier, either turn in the center or you're struggling on the exit and need to straighten that exit out. So,
and it's not just him, guys. Look at this. We have a brigade of Toyotas coming. He's going to have to fend them off because it's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the Gibbs cars and Reddick. Here they come. Changing of the guards. We saw the Penske cars really dominate most of that first stage. Not the case anymore. Larry, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, we heard maybe about a little bit of tire wear in that stage right there. Remember, that was 60 laps. Now, this stage is 125 laps. We went back racing with 115. If the strategy works out, that means they'll split that stage in half, run about 55 to 60 laps. So really, that was about the longest run they may have, what we just ran in stage 1.
Talk to me about the race yesterday, guys. What was, as we saw the fall off in those Indy cars throughout that race, do they get tight? Do they lose rear grip? What do they fight?
I think it depends on the balance.
Yeah.
Whatever you've got is going to get worse. And one of the big things in the Indy cars is we've got those tools in the cockpit we can adjust the balance with as the run goes on. We also adjust it whether you're running in clean air out front, you're running behind 2 cars, running behind 10 cars. That's going to affect the balance in a big way because of the aerodynamics. So you're adjusting those tools throughout the run and throughout where you are in line.
The biggest adjustment we've done here, the difference between here and years past, guys, is the horsepower. You know, 80 horsepower more as we come back this time, and they're really having trouble with the rear grip, aren't they, Kev?
Yeah. Well, we'll give them a brake knob to adjust front to rear bias. That's about all you can have.
But I'm sure, like for you guys in the Indy cars, staying ahead of your tools is key. Don't wait for the tire to reveal its deficiency. Make the adjustment and don't let the front or the rear get to a point where it's sliding. I imagine the same with brake bias.
We're riding along. Speaking of brakes, you see Denny Hamlin and Bob's Discount Furniture, which I wish we would get a couch up here from so we could watch this race. Be a little bit more comfortable. But Kevin, walk us through the inputs.
Well, one interesting thing that I saw right there off of turn 2, watch how light his hand gets. You know, when that thing starts to slide and you're trying to finesse it, you almost lighten your hand up. But see him grab 5th gear right there, back down to 4th gear. One thing you have to be is versatile. You saw Denny run up the racetrack a couple laps ago. Now he's on the bottom, and Reddick lets him go. See how light his hand is right there off of turn 2? Because when you get to the 3/4 mark or the corner right there, the car wants to rotate on its own at that 3/4 mark. You have to anticipate that and then baby that throttle up off the corner to not let the car slide, but to try to get that right rear hooked up.
Oh! Kyle Busch in the wall.
Is that a right front going down?
And a bad day gets worse in a hurry.
Really has been fighting. It looks like the right front is down.
Yeah, and we saw it was like lap 106 in the fall before we started having tire trouble. And you see that right front tire coming apart. So these guys all will get more aggressive, and they're going down on the apron on those restarts.
Now we're still green. No caution.
It's a very good point. No caution. I think he's going to get around here, too. We got SVG around off of 4.
He had just passed Bubba Wallace. He spins it around, gets going, and that will put us under caution for the second time today at lap 94.
Townsend, there was your horse. Sold him too early.
Must have had help.
All the tires are around. All the tires are up on this car, but a huge break for Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that's going to keep him from going 2 laps down.
Not sure if he's already the fence, SVG.
Yeah, Kyle's already 2 laps down.
That car's is still not running. Oh, the right front's down, but I think that was up when it came around. I think he may have slid a flat spot in that. Yeah, there's both tires are down now.
Yeah, he was running 13th, so he was having a great day.
It's on the engine protect page. What do I do?
Just try to cycle power here.
Yeah, when it goes into that engine protect mode like that, you know, it spins around and has something that makes it shut off. You have to turn the power off to reset the ECU to get everything working again.
Up near the top of the screen, there is SVG running 13th.
That's Kyle Busch going into the wall.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that right front tire just went down on that car.
And there you see SVG up on the top side. Just comes right around on him, high on the racetrack.
Yeah, and when you're running that top line like that, you just have to baby the thing up off the corner. And it looks like he just lost it right there. Oh, no.
Got a tire down.
Yeah, he's got a tire down right there. That's why it's always great that we have these in-car cameras. You can correct when you're wrong, but you can hear the tread off of that tire actually hitting the crush panels in the car. So he had a tire issue right there.
Yeah, you can see when it went so fast. It went a lot faster than you normally see, just a kind of a slow, lazy spin on this type of track.
And you also saw him off the pace.
Yeah.
That's a tell-all sign. We got trouble here. What's going on? Finally, it comes around.
So James and Townsend will be busy next Sunday on Fox when the IndyCar Series roars into the streets of Arlington, Texas in the race around the stadiums. That inaugural race will begin with a star-studded Texas-sized party. And the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Another street circuit.
Another street circuit. First time we're doing it around the stadiums there. You see Scott Dixon, 6-time champion in the IndyCar Series, 2008 Indy 500 winner, but we're so excited about this one. The Jones family very involved, very into it. Anything down there is going to be exciting.
Yeah, you got the Cowboys, you got the Rangers. We're racing around both stadiums. It's going to be a huge event, and this guy could definitely factor into the mix come Sunday there. You know, he's been preparing probably for 8 months for that race. A king of preparation, Scott Dixon, one of the best of all time.
And you guys know what it's like. Whenever there's a new racetrack, every driver thinks they're going to be the one that figures it out first. So right now, everybody's very excited.
Like you in St. Pete.
Exactly right.
Right.
So SVG brings out the caution, but earlier today, signed at fire suit for Scott McLaughlin. They did a suit swap.
And these two guys, they've been competitors for a long time back in Australia in the Supercar Championship. A lot of respect between the two of them. A lot of hard battles on the racetrack. This is a cool moment to see.
Very nice.
I want to see it again.
All right, pit road's open. Regan.
Well, Ryan Blaney, you see peeling off in the 12 car there. Felt like the rear tires stayed a little better that time. For short runs, needs a little bit more turn. In the 45 of Tyler Reddick, every time he touches the throttle, he feels like it's stressing the rear tires too much. Jamie?
Christopher Bell pits from the lead, says, I'm good, don't need anything, but my pedal was getting to be a little bit fade-ish, falling off just a little bit. Same for Joey Logano. He said his pedal was getting a little bit long later in the run, but he fired off better, so that air pressure adjustment on the first stop helping.
Bell beats Logano off pit road, or did he? That was very close at the yellow line.
A lot better pit stop for the Penske guys that time.
And
both of them.
Brad Keselowski gets the free pass. First car 1 lap down. There's the race to the yellow line. Give it to Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch into the wall, and then SVG spins and brings out the caution.
Next week, NASCAR rolls into Sin City to test their luck. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series kicks things off from Las Vegas on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CW, followed by the Cup Series on Sunday.
One to go before we restart. Ryan Blaney had to come back to pit road. He had a loose wheel.
No! Say it's not so.
So he will restart back about 28th. Bubba Wallace too fast exiting pit road. He will also start in the back.
And those are just detrimental mistakes to the rest of your day. Not only does it take you out of the stage 2, but it just makes everything harder to have a chance to win this race. We saw Bubba Wallace work his way to the front, and Ryan Blaney was in the front.
So Blaney will come from 28th on the restart. They chose, as they went past the line, Bell and Logano. Inside, outside on the front row, Briscoe and Reddick. Gibbs, Byron is the first Chevrolet in 6th. Into the restart zone. Christopher Bell, the control car. Joey Logano grabs a gear, and boy, they're even as they hit for the dogleg.
Good start on the outside for Joey Logano.
Yeah, and on the outside like that, you're just waiting to see when that guy breaks to the bottom so that you can stay right on that door to try to side draft him. And Joey Logano has kept himself in that position as we get to the exit of turn 2. He's still going to be there.
Whoa.
5 wide for a moment.
Chastain almost got turned around. Comes Briscoe. These Gibbs cars mean business, making a ton of grip on these long runs.
Well, and starting up front, they've been able to fire off pretty good too, and that is double trouble for everybody else that's been up front so far. The 22.
Oh, big pile up here.
Suarez, unfortunate there. Started 4th.
Had a great day going. Was 7th at the end of stage 1. His best stage result here. And he is the last car left up there in turn number 2 as we have the 3rd caution of the day.
Yeah, you saw Chase Elliott involved as well. You see some damage to that left rear quarter panel where it's got up against the fence.
See them roll around here. Just gets loose right on the inside of, I think that's Keselowski up in it. Was that Elliott that he got in on the outside?
Yeah,
but just got loose down on the bottom on the apron all by himself.
3rd caution of the day in Phoenix, turn 2. Who will rise up in the world's most famous arena and take the conference crown? The Big East Tournament live from Madison Square Garden, March 12th through the 14th on Fox and FS1. Ryan Preece and Josh Berry were also involved in that dust-up in turn number 2. Berry's made a brief stop on pit road where Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott are still in their pit stalls. Elliott pulls away now.
Yeah, you see a lot of damage to that 7 car, so that's going to be rough on the rest of his day. Anything that knocks that splitter around at these types of racetracks, you're not going to get away with it like you would at Daytona or Atlanta.
There used to be a newsman, John Cameron Swayze, and he did commercials for an inexpensive watch brand, and his line was, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Well, that applies to the bodies on these cars too.
It certainly does. They're taking some big hits. There's something going on here with the 88.
Over the wall too soon, but while we're doing this, we're going to make an adjustment.
What would they be doing up in there?
I tell you what I'd be doing is looking at a Wendy's menu, making me hungry. You like a single? Are you a double guy, a triple guy, a Baconator, a son of a Baconator?
I'm more of a Frosty guy.
I knew that.
We can watch it at the drive-through with the Wendy's cam there. What, do you have the whole menu board memorized?
Well, don't you?
No.
I got you. These guys are, I think the size of them, they're probably singles.
I have so many comments right now. I have so many comments that I'm just going to not say.
Okay, Frosty.
Zilich is at the tail end of the lead lap. Zane Smith got the free pass. He was the first car 1 lap down, so he'll be back on the lead lap. Coming back to green.
You saw Logano time that really well. He's going to be even better than he was the restart before. Always a little trickier when you fire off on cycled tires here.
Only 7 cars pitted that were on the lead lap, all restarting in the back.
Shore, rapid shore.
Joey Logano's radio as his Ford tries to hold off 3 charging Toyotas.
Yeah, and I think Logano knows how important it is for him to get that track position and try to protect himself as long as he can throughout this run. He knows that those cars behind him are better the longer that they go, so he'll keep them stacked up as we go through this part of the run until that crossover happens. As you see Bell way sideways off of turn 4.
And Reddick muscling up Briscoe there for third as they came off turn 4.
Very impressed with the Gibbs cars, all the Toyotas. Reddick, obviously, they're going for a 4th. That would be wild to see. I didn't have that on my radar, really didn't, but it can happen today. Briscoe got his first win here. He's on the move for sure.
3 different grooves off of 4.
Yeah, you see Reddick sneak to the outside of the 19 car. 19 car shortcut that dog leg right there, but Reddick's still going to be on the outside. His car was really good in practice, but since we've dropped the green flag, Clint, that 45 car has been right at the front of this pack.
Momentum, buddy.
Can't beat it.
I've been to a lot of race shops and had a chance to go to that 2311 facility last fall, and boy, you walk in there and it just smells like expectation and purpose. Beautiful facility, but everybody, the facility and the people all just seemed hardwired for this mission right here, which is running up front in the 26th season. So I wasn't surprised to see them roll off the way they did so far this year, but pretty cool to see that investment, those people all come together and make the magic happen out on the track.
You don't even have to pull in the parking lot of that, baby. Drive right by it on 77. It's like, what is that?
Yeah, the last 3 weeks I've driven by, the lights have been black and white for that checkered flag. So you know it's a good day at 2311 when you see those black and white lights on the outside. See Denny Hamlin working to the inside of William Byron right there. I just think this is a Denny Hamlin type of race as you see those cars start to slide around, and that finesse that he has and ability on those long runs to be able to take care of his tires. If this thing ever gets to a point where we start seeing green flag runs into a green flag pit stop in the last stage, it could fall right into Denny Hamlin's hands.
It's one of the hardest things to do, James, as a racing driver, is to keep it back, to pull back your right foot from chewing up that rear tire over these long stints.
Especially when you're wheel to wheel with somebody. You're trying to get that launch off the corner. It's so tempting to get goaded into it, and that just is going to hurt you in the long run. We talked about it when we were talking about the truck thing, the discipline required by these drivers out there. It's so impressive.
Kevin, did you ever drag left brake, left foot on the brake, and drag a little brake coming off the corner to sort of almost like mechanical traction control your wheel spin?
Keep the car loaded. And there'll be a lot of guys that do that today. If that car, like you're in a position to where you think you need to finish a pass, just dragging that brake just a little bit to keep the car from sliding out from underneath you. But they're even on a normal lap, they'll do that sometimes as well.
Watching Gibbs and Byron battle for 6th, but there's a storm brewing. There's the Hurricane. Carson Hocevar, he has fought his way up to 9th place. Teammate Michael McDowell moving with him.
77's kind of like the Christian Rasmussen of the Cup Series, the kid that almost won yesterday with a brave drive, but every time I seem to tune into the Cup Series, this guy's in the middle of the Hurricane, as you said, Mike.
Oh, he's brave, all right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, we were outside their garage when they were having their issues before the start of the race there. And, Jeff Dickerson, one of the owners there, said, disappointed, we got to start from the back. The car's got pace. I said, 312 laps, Carson behind the wheel, fast race car, no stress. He'll be up there in no time.
And the more restarts we have, the better off he's going to be, because he is very good at making bold moves and just committing to it. And he's able to make so many spots up on those restarts, but you see his teammate right there, right behind him, Michael McDowell as well.
Chris Buescher right with them in the RFK 17. Buescher there, even though he got spun at COTA, he maintained a great record of consecutive lead lap finishes on road courses, over 40 for Chris Buescher, and he managed that last week. I didn't want to say it late in the race. I didn't want to jinx him.
No surprise watching the 12 crawl back from the bad pit stop, the loose wheel. They're up 7 spots, Kevin. No surprise that he can drive up through the field. We've seen him do it before.
Now,
going to take a while, though.
He's got a fast car, and I think he's going to be able to race in that top 5, but just put yourself behind and don't get the stage points, and you're going to have mistakes, but at this track, it just puts you in such a further hole because of the fact that you have to get through the track, get the track position back, and getting through traffic is much more difficult.
Well, Blaney up to 12th place, and now the passing is going to get more difficult as he gets up into the contenders here. Almost halfway through stage number 2, in which we've had 2 caution flags, something we did not have at all in the first stage of this race. Overall, 120 of 312 laps complete in the Phoenix Sun. Joey Logano leading Christopher Bell. Welcome back to Phoenix, the Straight Talk Wireless 500. You're watching from the Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam on board Joey Logano. At the new leader, you saw Christopher Bell make the pass. And now he is growing ever smaller out ahead of Logano with a lead of 0.4 of a second.
And we knew that was going to flip. We knew that the 20 was going to be better on the long run. And now it's just a matter of how much ground does Joey Logano lose to those cars behind him. But getting the lead and being able to protect himself for that many laps should minimize that damage.
So James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell join us for a bit here before you all go off to Arlington for something that's going to be really fun.
It's going to be great. I mean, we love going to new circuits. This street circuit around, you say Dallas Cowboy Stadium where the Rangers play as well. And I've seen some pictures of the build. It is done proper. This thing looks sharp. It's going to race well. Lots of people are going to show up. It's going to be a good show.
And simulation is so big in the sport, both on the Cup side and IndyCar side. One of the things I love about a new street circuit, nobody has the real track map to work from. They think they know what the track's going to be like, but it'll be a guessing game when everybody shows up on Friday for practice.
And that always makes for a better show, in my opinion. If you're a fan, that's what you want to see.
Well, we'll be watching the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington on Fox next Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Glad to have you guys stop by and see a little bit of, what do they call it in Europe? Argy-bargy kind of racing?
I'm glad this weekend happened, right, guys? These worlds colliding for an epic weekend of motorsports for a fan. I mean, everybody wins in this scenario.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day, Clint. This is something we hope we get to see a lot more of in the future, getting both series together. The fans are the real winners here, but we love seeing it. See how many IndyCar guys were in the paddock today and up and down pit lane at the start of the race watching. We saw a lot of the Cup guys swing by. We had Logano in the booth with us in the IndyCar race as well. So, credit to everybody who made this happen. Hopefully we can do it again.
Hope so too. All right, let's.
Leader's got tire trouble.
No, that's Briscoe.
Try to keep up, stay up here.
So Chase Briscoe is in the wall and caution is out. And Larry, what was he saying earlier on the radio?
He'd been complaining about a vibration for about the last 10 or 12 laps right there. And that right there was about 24 to 25 laps.
Found the vibration, guys.
Had a couple here in the fall as well.
It looked like the right rear tire went first, the way that rear took off on the car, and then it slammed into the wall and popped the right front too.
And I agree with you, Kevin, because the left front locked up pretty quick too, and we know how rigid these cars are. It'll raise that left front up.
Worst feeling as a racing driver to have a failure like this going into a corner. You just have absolutely no chance. As you take a look at the 19, smoke coming off. And guys, you've been there, I've been there. You just try to relax your body and not tighten up. It's the hardest thing to do.
It always feels like it picks up speed from about right there to the wall.
And it never happens in a good place. Always going into the corner. Worst case scenario. Fantastic effort. Great race car. Everything was going good.
I don't know what his car was doing, but he was bottoming the brake pedal out both ends of the racetrack.
Well, that's never good either.
Well,
it was really bottomed out here.
And when we talk about the more horsepower, man, that
was
hit
a
the
shot
wall.
for the front end to lift up like that. That's a huge amount of energy.
Next, Denny Hamlin's view. And Briscoe has gone behind the wall. So what kind of feeling is when not just when you see that happen, but when it's your teammate?
Well, it definitely makes you ask a lot of questions on the radio. Where were they out on air pressure? You heard Larry talk about the brake pedal usage. What is his brake usage compared to the other teammates? So balance. There's a lot of questions that they'll be going through to make sure that they don't have the same problem.
I'd want to know how much bias was he dialing in if the 19 was loose and he was trying to fix that by dialing front bias in. How aggressive were they? Did that contribute to building heat on the right front?
Well, I'd want to know how much air is in that right rear.
Yes.
And do I have more in it? That's what I want to know.
And he complained about the vibration of the tire, so he knew something wasn't right.
And you guys made a point to us earlier that going down in that dog leg, using the apron in 1 and 2, that can contribute to it as well. So how much was he using there?
All right, pit road's open. Briscoe was fourth. They're going to fill up with Sunoco race fuel with zero carbon bioethanol and get some fresh Goodyears. Regan.
Well, the 54, Ty Gibbs running in fourth place, having a very good day at a track that was a challenge for him last year. his message to the team so far, it felt really good, that run. He's been very pleased all day long. In the 45 of Tyler Reddick, biggest issue he had, just a little bit too tight as he got to the top side of the racetrack. Jamie?
Christopher Bell, so happy, no complaints at all, but they did tell him about the 19, and they said, we're looking into it. We're not sure what exactly happened, so teammates certainly keeping an eye there. Meanwhile, Joey Logano said he liked where the turn was in the car. Let's keep it there, but I also need some grip. They want it all down here, guys.
Christopher Bell has the best average pit stop time today, but Logano beats him out of the pits. And Ryan Blaney stops in Logano's pit to get a wheel tightened.
Again.
That'll put him to the back.
Talk that talk. You knocks me out.
Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they are proven. So earlier, Ryan Blaney had a left front that was loose. This time it was the left rear with the single lug nut center lock wheel. Watch the left rear here.
Nope, not good. You can see the wheel wobbling too.
So he goes down to the very last pit, Joey Logano's pit. Joey won the pole, so he had first choice of pit stalls. They chose stall number 1. He stopped there to get tightened. Larry, what do the rules say about that?
Yeah, it's pitting outside your assigned box, but the penalty under caution is started to tail end of the longest line. That beats the alternative, because if that tire and wheel comes off on the racetrack, remember Ross Chastain last week, 2-lap penalty, loses 2 crew members for 2 weeks. He just stopped at your local Shell station.
Well,
look at him. Turn back around, guys. We need some help.
Quick service here.
Which one is it? Man, that's a crushing blow for that 12 car.
But it's a great rule. It keeps the tires on the cars.
Yep.
No
and
chance
off the racetrack.
of that wheel and tire coming off to get in the pit stall or on the racetrack. That's a great rule.
So Ryan Blaney will have to come from the back one more time. Eric Jones got the free pass on this, the 4th caution flag of the day. 48 laps to go in stage 2. Joey Logano's Ford, Christopher Bell's Toyota bring them back to green ahead of Hamlin, Gibbs, Hocevar, and Reddick.
Yeah, and you saw Denny Hamlin try to time that right there in the 22 car. Joey Logano was just waiting for him to hit that back bumper and then took off. But right now, Christopher Bell is in the same position that Joey Logano was up on the outside. And Clint, that's the hardest thing to defend when somebody's up on your right rear quarter panel. And he's going to clear him.
Bell back to the lead. Ty Gibbs, the purple car on the outside, battling Hamlin for third. And Denny is going to win that one. So the fight becomes for fifth. Hocevar, Reddick back there.
And every time we get closer to the end of these and these restarts start happening, that fight you just talked about keeps getting harder and harder.
Well, the one that's cowboyed up right here is Carson Hocevar, and every restart we see him get a little bit further and further towards the front. Here he is trying to put himself in the middle of these Toyotas at the front of the field.
Well, you have to, it takes aggression on these restarts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 wide. It doesn't know what it's going to be. I need an aggressive race car driver. Carson Hocevar's your guy.
Well, you got two of them right there because Reddick's not giving him an inch.
Clinton, what's the garage respect been like for Hocevar? As a young guy coming in, aggressive driver, oftentimes there's resistance all around you to the way you race on the track. Are they starting to accept him more and more?
No.
It's different than the grandstand, Townsend. It's definitely different than a grandstand. Grandstands, yes, I think I heard rumblings about him signing a PSA already, right? People are liking what they're seeing out of him. Competitors, no chance. They don't like it.
And it's great on the racetrack. Sorry, Mike, but it's great on the racetrack because he is aggressive. He's taking chances and doing all those things. But from a competitor standpoint, everybody feels like he's putting them in bad spots, uncomfortable spots, but they also feel like he's here to take their money and take their points and all the things that go with that.
Richard Petty said on his podcast this week, Carson Hocevar reminds him of a young Dale Earnhardt. And social media lit up. People who weren't born yet in the 80s are saying, how can you say such a thing? I agree with Richard. He is very much like Dale Earnhardt when he first came to the Busch Series driving his own cars before he got to Cup.
What Dale Inman say about that? I don't think he agreed with him.
Well,
yeah. Well, the only thing he's got to do now is win at some point.
That's right.
That's not if. I think it's when. Jamie.
Well, it's been an unbelievable drive so far for Carson Hocevar. Remember, he changed that alternator before the race, had to start 35th. Then he lost a right rear tire right at the start of the race, had a vibration. They got that all back together, and he is driven to the front. Right now, sitting 6th. He says on the radio, I'm happy this car is a rocket ship, and the guys told him, you look good driving it too. A lot of happiness in this 77 camp right now.
Well, he is the best Chevrolet in the race right now.
Well, he's been the best Chevy at a couple of these racetracks, and there's no denying that he's fast and they have had the speed. And you know, whether you like him or don't like him, he's great for our sport right now, and he puts on a good show and also has the speed to go with it.
All of those Spire cars have been fast.
Well, here's Zane Smith in the 38 and the 12 of Ryan Blaney, both coming up through the field. Smith has had speed this year. He's been part of the story, but Blaney has had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, but again, he's got to do it from the trunk and get back to the front.
Yeah, the dent wizard almost had to buff out the side right there.
And this is where you know you've got the fastest car potentially in this field. I liken it to having like grandma's crystal and you're trying to get through a bar fight to get to the other side. Blaney needs to protect this race car from getting dented up, bent up, because it's quick.
And he's a fiery guy. On the radio, he gets really frustrated. And I would assume after the second one, he's probably on the chip on the radio.
It helps these passes happen a little quicker when you're that way.
I mean, he's getting 2 cars a corner. He's just going down low and absolutely flying by this back half of the field.
Look at that drive off right there. When he got to throttle Blaney, I mean, he just shot right up the inside of the 35.
Clear up. Get by 4. Still happy.
And that's my favorite line here at Phoenix. When you're able to put those right side tires on that yellow line, you see him just a small diamond in the center. That's when you really know your car is handling well. When you're able to just follow that line, partial throttle it, and still get up off the corner without the back snapping out from underneath.
And nobody did that partial throttle better than you. I was your teammate for a long time, got to see your data and tried to match that, but that's what you see out of Blaney. When he rolls in there down in 1 and 2, he's able to get the car rotated, running on that apron, splitting an apron, if you will, and part throttle, keep the momentum through the corners, and that's where he makes all of these passes, much like your driving style, Kevin.
Kevin was so good at it here. He won here 9 times. We created a new verb for that style of driving. We called it harvicking, and was pretty good. Briscoe checked and released at the infield care center. Townsend, James, have fun in Arlington. We'll be watching.
Thanks for having us. It was a blast. We learned a lot.
Thanks for coming up here.
Christopher Bell leading Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. That's Ryan Blaney, was moving up to 17th over Elliott and Nemechek. Christopher Bell is your leader by 2 seconds over Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. Regan?
Mike Chase Briscoe checked and released from the infield care center. We heard you talk about a vibration on the radio. You went into turn 3, it went straight. Was it a tire or something else, Chase?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the replay. Yeah, I just went into the corner and started making all kinds of noise, like something was bottoming out, and just went straight. So, yeah, extremely unfortunate. I had another incredibly fast, Bass Pro Shops Tracker Toyota. We've been arguably a top 3 car all year and have 3 37th place finishes, so just haven't had any luck to go with the speed. But yeah, big hole to dig out of, but yeah, we're just going to the next one and see if we can get back going.
All right, thanks, Chase.
It'll turn around.
Yeah, but that hole is much harder to dig out of this year, Mike, with the way that the new chase format is. Oh,
part of the wall, turn 2, and that is Noah Gregson, who comes off the wall down to pit road, and we're going to get a caution.
Yellow's out here.
At lap 158.
Yeah, and I think they had to throw the caution. You saw the debris coming out of the back of that car, and you see it on pit road. Just disintegrating itself on the right front right there.
I think it's him right here, Kevin. You're going to watch him come into the corner, and boom, there it is, another tire.
First of the front row cars to have trouble.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting scenario with the tire situation. We know we've got 8 sets laying on the ground. What what's going to happen here, Larry? We know it's going to fire off better on new tires.
We had 8 stickers and a set of qualifying scuffs. If they pit here and do stickers, this will be the 5th set, and we're just halfway.
Ooh.
This could be a good opportunity to put your qualifying scuffs on, maybe.
Well, here's William Byron with issues.
Get another lap. They didn't open it. We'll just pit on or closed here.
So pit road is not open, but they will pit and take the penalty, which is just restarting at the tail end of the longest line.
Obviously a tough break, but not as bad as it could have been.
Well, and I think there's a couple things here, Larry. You see if you agree with me on this. I think the more speed down the straightaway. Oh, we see another one. Another one on the 88 there, Zilich. I think there's a...
Wow.
But I think the added speed, the more brake pressure, the more brake heat, it's a hot day, moving around the racetrack. There's a lot of things that are a lot different than what they were a few years ago, or last year.
Now, Ryan Blaney and team on pit strategy here.
Hey, let's keep our track position this time. It doesn't drive good back here. I don't know what to tell you. It's bad, drives bad. Copy. Do we can?
Well, he's passed everybody at least once. I guess if you stay out, take track position, but oh my gosh, Michael McDowell.
Pits aren't working out very good for us. Here's another one, Larry.
Yeah, this is 20 laps on these tires since they last pitted. You stay out, that means you've got to run basically another 20 laps.
You don't sound convinced that's a good strategy.
I'm not, but I'm running out of tires, Mike.
Quite a turn of events here. So what's that? 1 Ford, 3 Chevrolets. Briscoe earlier into the wall. He didn't know if that was a tire or not. More questions than answers here.
I have a lot of questions.
This is what we saw in November. Early part of the race, no issues. Then they start getting aggressive. Now we're starting to have issues here at the halfway point.
Yeah, and on Briscoe, we saw a right rear tire. All these that we've seen right here are right fronts.
Wow. Looking back from Eric Jones, who got the free pass 1 caution ago from our Toyota onboard camera. He has fought his way up to 22nd, so a good recovery there.
I do think as good a car as Blaney's got sitting there where he's at right now, this could be a net gain if he does stay out possibly. Takes a good car.
That'd be about the only one I would take a gamble with from what I've seen.
Now the reason the caution came out was debris from Noah Gregson getting into the turn 1 wall. Here's Michael McDowell's radio.
Yeah, we got a tire that just went down too. Supposed to be debris or something out there. I got to come to you next time.
Well, and that's what we were talking about why they threw the caution, because of the debris and everything that was coming out of the car. You saw the official right there just pick up a whole brake pad. So hopefully, and I hate it for all these guys, hopefully that was the case with all the debris on the racetrack.
So if Gregson, say, exploded a rotor or something like that and had a brake failure and went into the wall, that would put a lot of metal parts down there for folks to run over.
Well, and it, not only is it brake rotor parts, but then it starts shredding carbon fiber and fenders and wheels and tires and a lot of things to be able to run over right there.
You know, that might have been not a tire failure either.
Look at this.
Rewinding that a little bit. That's right. Something went through the grill of Custer's car here, but let's go back to that. May not have been a tire failure.
Right.
Was it a brake failure? If you see, rotors and pads on the track.
Well, we were caught off guard yesterday by how caught off guard the drivers were with the more horsepower here and what they felt. And I think what we're seeing right now with a lot of these tire failures and things happening, I think that trend has continued with surprises, and we knew that the story was going to tell itself today to be a lot different than what we've had in the past because of the more horsepower and everything that we have going on at today's race.
But what we're now seeing is a lot of these tire failures under this caution appear to be from running over debris.
That would be my guess.
Yep.
For sure.
I'm planning on staying out. These cautions are my best friend.
That's true. The longer this caution lasts, the less laps you'll have to run to get to the end of the stage, which is 23 laps from now.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a mixed bag right here. I think you're going to see guys stay out. We saw what won the championship.
There's a rotor. No rotor on that car.
That's right. But I think you're going to see some mixed strategies right here of 2 tires staying out, 4 tires. It's going to be mixed up, in my opinion.
What you want to do now, Larry?
I want 4 tires, but I think I'm going to put my qualifying scuffs on here. I'm going to use those up 1 lap on them.
Good idea.
Larry.
You'll only have to run 12 laps or so to the end of the stage. Regan?
Well, Mike, there was discussion over Ty Gibbs' radio whether to pit or stay out. They felt like the best play for them was going to be to pit right now. He has been happy with the car. He's happy last run, still happy this run. Things going good for the 54. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin as well. He said, we're definitely better that time by. Need just a little bit more sticker tires on the right side for Denny Hamlin.
There's your gamble.
Seeing mostly 4 tire changes, but not all. And we see Preece and Keselowski staying on the racetrack along with Cody Ware. A lot of different strategies to unpack when we come back to Phoenix. Vet the Vote wrapped Garrett Smithley's car in yesterday's race. A program of We the Veterans and Military Families have recruited over 160,000 people to serve as election poll workers with support from sports partners including NASCAR and the NFL. For more info, go to vetthe.vote. 20 laps to go in stage 2. A wide variety of strategies. Cody Ware did finally pit. He had not been to pit road since about lap 60. But 2 of the RFK cars, that's Ryan Preece out front and Brad Keselowski in 7th. They chose not to pit, trying to gain some stage points here, just 20 laps away.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to hold those guys off behind them, but I think their hope is that the net gain from the track position standpoint by the time we get to the end of the stage is better for them. So we'll see how it works out, and you never know. I mean, it might be trying to save a set of tires too. I don't know how many times they pitted.
Yeah, here's what you got. You got Preece, Keselowski, Zilich. They stayed out. They pitted about 20-something laps ago. Then you got Hamlin, Buscher, Cindric, and Alfredo that did 2 tires.
Yeah, I saw Zilich just drop to the back of back of the field. So, I mean, what you hope for when you stay out like that is you have a bigger buffer to be able to have some cars behind you that did the same strategy to hold those guys up. But when you fire off on these cycled tires and have to go into turn one with all the guys on new tires, sometimes that's a pretty tall chore.
Now, we mentioned Anthony Alfredo. He is in the number 48 car this week. Vertigo issues have kept Alex Bowman out of the car. He will return to it as soon as he is able. Those issues not related to him getting out of the car last week at COTA. Noah Gregson checked and released at the Infield Care Center. Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, a pair of Fords on the front row. As we go back to green, we'll have 18 to go to the end of the stage. Bubba down to the bottom to make it 4 wide, 5 wide, let's say. How about 6?
Yeah, and you see right there, those guys are really struggling on those used tires. Denny Hamlin drives by both of them. 6 car, Brad Keselowski, he's all the way back to 9th or 10th.
Preece holding his own, now 3rd after Bell has passed him. Is there a bit of irony looking back to last fall that Denny Hamlin just took 2 tires and drove away?
I didn't want to say it, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
That was probably an easy decision this time. A lot harder the last time they had to make that.
Now you're seeing Preece start to fade backwards, so this is going to be a long 17 laps for Ryan Preece and Brad to be able to hold on to those cars. You see all the tire trouble that we've had, and you still see all those cars bouncing onto the apron. You have to take the passes while you can get them. Bubba Wallace, he's had a great car, been to the back of the field one time, working his way back towards the front. We've talked about how strong all these Toyotas are, but Bubba Wallace has had a pretty good day today, Clint.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously had to dig himself back out of the hole a little bit here, but fast car again. We've covered that with these Toyotas. Every single one of them making really good grip, particularly on a long run.
And Kyle Larson didn't like his car much in stage 1, faded from where he qualified, but here he is in the top 10 as we get toward the end of the stage 2.
And I think it's going to continue to be an uphill battle for these Chevrolets to really figure out what these new cars want from a balance standpoint. So Kyle Larson, they've made their car better, put themselves right on the outside, right on the inside of the top 10 right there at 9th. So definitely making improvements.
Well, obviously these cautions give them opportunities to do so too. But I am impressed. We've learned something here. You know, you start thinking about the end of the race and what it takes to win. You got 2 tires right there on 11. Bell's been so strong leading laps. A lot of different scenarios playing out here. It gives all these crew chiefs a little bit more of a playbook to look at when we get down to the closing laps of this race.
All right, battle for 7th on the bottom, the leaders on the top. Now, the 2 RFK cars that did not stop, they've faded back well out of the top 10, but their teammate, Chris Buescher, sitting in 3rd. He's the best of the Fords right now as Bell goes for the lead.
Again, you know, talking about Buescher and all those gambles, you know, these are the opportunities that you need within a race to see if that opportunity presents itself at the end, which one are we going to choose?
Christopher Bell just can't quite get himself clear of Denny Hamlin. I think he's going to, there he goes. Got it done this time.
Good.
Bell obviously won the last 2 years in this spring race and has positioned himself to be back in control of this race after the first stage and taking the lead on that pit stop. He's been able to fire off at the front of this pack and take control of it every time. So continuing to do that as we approach the end of stage 2 with 11 laps to go.
Well, looks like Christopher Bell is going to max out on stage points here. And earlier, he spoke about the importance of points, even this early in the season.
Super important to start climbing up that points list. And one thing that I like about the points change is if you can go out there and win races, you can close that gap. And I think, you know, Reddick, he's won both of them, and now he has a massive gap to the field. So if you go out there and you can execute and win races, I think we'll be able to climb the ladder pretty quick.
Well, he came in here, right around the top 20, just barely. But at this moment, Christopher Bell poised to climb to 5th in the standings.
And this was the reset that I knew was going to happen. You know, going into this, you called it the regular season starts now, Mike. And that tide is going to change, and it is definitely changing in Bell's favor.
And so many important tracks as we go through these next 6 races, to be able to know that those races are in the chase at the end of the year. This race is important, and every week that we go forward for the end of the year, to put yourself in a spot to have the right notes to be able to perform when you come back to that track for the second time. Jamie?
It's been a great start to the season for Bubba Wallace, 2nd in points, 11th or better in the first 3 races. And they knew this would be a challenge for him here this weekend. I talked to his crew chief, Charles Denny, and he said, we missed it in qualifying. He was 28th, just way too loose. They adjusted on this car, and they took a gamble here. When the last round of stops happened, they came in, put 4 sticker tires in it. Even though he was 10th there, they want to make max points here. And so far, it's paying off. He's up to 6th, gained 4 spots since the restart.
Thanks, Jamie. What a battle we've got down around 20th position. 18th is Ross Chastain, Allmendinger, Van Gisbergen, Byron, Alfredo, Dillon, Jones, and Suarez.
Yeah,
here's how they were a lap ago coming off turn 4.
Very aggressive 4 wide getting into 3. That doesn't usually work out when they spit out the other end, Kevin.
No,
usually there's less cars than what went in.
Yeah, and it wasn't long ago, that 97 car of SVG, you see Ty Dillon just right up on the front bumper of the 48, just took that line away from Anthony Alfredo there.
And there's no points at stake here. This is 18th on back.
Yeah, track position though, Mike. It's so important.
And that's pretty much the way the 18th to the back of the field happens on a particular weekend.
Yeah,
Car's not handling
way.
good. You're fighting for your life back here.
See him fighting for his life right now. SVG holding right down on the door of the 24.
Chris Buescher with Joey Logano now filling up his rearview mirror as we come to the end of the stage. Buescher 3rd, Logano 4th.
Yeah, and it's so wild. We saw this yesterday in the O'Reilly race. That first run of the race, it looked like one car was going to dominate the race, and then the next thing you know, you go into the 2nd run, and in the 3rd run, everybody makes adjustments on their car. The track goes through the transition of getting the right rubber on the racetrack. But how we started this race is not where we are right now with who the dominant cars are. But Joey Logano was right there with Ryan Blaney at the beginning of the race. We still think Blaney is one of the cars that can run up front, but
he's got to right.
Yeah.
But I still agree with you. I think Logano is still your car for one reason only. He still has that #1 pit box. We've seen it time and time again when we come to this racetrack, decide who wins this race or a championship even.
So 3rd place in doubt here between Logano and Buescher. And here's 10th. Who's going to get the last stage point? That's Todd Gilliland coming around the outside of Ty Gibbs for 10th. Boy, Logano takes Buescher way up the racetrack at turn 4. Then drops to the bottom. 2 to go.
Good work, Denny. Starting to bleed here. All clear. Coming to the white mistake.
Christopher Bell with a 3-second lead on Denny Hamlin with Logano and Buescher.
Larry, I'm pretty happy with those 2 tires on the 11 car. Held in there pretty good.
I think it takes a good handling car to make that work, though.
I agree. I was always really bad about telling them to put 4 tires on. I hated 2 tires.
I never made it work.
Yeah, I was
always tighter.
I was always one that struggled with that as well.
Final lap of stage 2. Christopher Bell picking up right where he left off here last spring, now with a 3-second lead as he comes to the line to win the stage over Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher. Now in this race, the last 2 years, Bell was the stage 2 winner and went on all the way to victory lane. We'll have stage-ending pit stops coming up.
The point lead is massive. 70 points. And I think from second to 26th, I think it's like 62 points.
Yeah, it's wild.
So, the whole chase format and the points battle and everything to put yourself in position is up and down for everybody.
Join Kevin every Tuesday and Thursday for NASCAR's #1 on the charts podcast, Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour. We're at the end of stage 2. Jamie.
Well, Christopher Bell picking up right where he left off last spring here at Phoenix. Great car, but a great pit crew as well, getting the job done today. They just picked up their first stage win of the season. Let's meet Team 20.
Darrell Edwards from Baltimore, Maryland. Jackman for the number 20 car. I played at High Point University basketball. Shout out to the Panthers.
Peyton Moore, Fueler, former linebacker at Kennesaw State University, and a special shout out to my superstar wife at home. Will Cooper, tire carrier. I played football for Alabama and was on the 2017 national championship team.
Michael Hicks, rear tire changer, and I love a bowl of Frosted Flakes at night.
Blake Houston, front tire changer, former Catawba College baseball player.
And that's the number 20 team. Now, Kevin, on his podcast, he brings in people from entertainment, from the sports world, from all over. Who'd you sit next to on the plane coming out here?
Well, I've sat next to a lot of people, but it's fun to be able to see people from different sports. But we sat next to what is going to be one of the best linebackers in the NFL, Tori York, and to be able to sit next to him and have him here at the race today has been fun because a lot of these athletes haven't been to a NASCAR race before, and when they see this all in person, they're like, what in the world? How do I not know about this?
You know, I love that. I love taking this sport and showing it to new eyes.
Yes.
Because we're here every week. This is our neighborhood. This is our normal. Somebody sees it for the first time, it's like, wow. I agree.
And it's spectacular for the athletes because when you look on pit road and you see all these guys that are on pit road, they're all athletes and they've all come from baseball and football, wherever they came from, and able to go out there and jump in front of that car and make these pit stops is pretty spectacular.
It's been my experience, and I'm glad you said, the athletes. I've never considered myself an athlete as a race car driver. We got power steering for crying out loud, but these guys on the pit road, they're athletes, absolute studs, and it's been my experience over the years when you do bring other athletes into the sport of NASCAR and they see a pit stop, their eyes light up.
Oh, they light up.
I think it's pretty cool that when we go into every venue, there are representatives of each team visiting colleges and universities trying to recruit athletes. Maybe they're not headed to the NFL or the NBA or to other professional sport. Hey, you like the thrill of the snap of the ball? Why don't you come look at this? We might have a job for you.
You ever jump in front of a 3,500 pound car?
Hey, sometimes I'd rather do that than some of them guys on that football field.
There you go. All right, pit road's open for a splash of Sunoco race fuel with zero carbon bioethanol and new tires if needed. Regan.
Mike Chris Buescher doing a great job maintaining fourth position. That last run on two tires has been a little bit tight through the center all day. Was worried the two tires would make that worse. Told the team it did not do that. It was really good for 10 laps. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin had those right sides only. He said he was a little loose to end the run, especially in turn 3. It's 4 tire stop here. They'll fill him up. And the 20 car, he's been the best car of the day. His teammate, that's Christopher Bell. The drive off is strong. Do not give that up. Just a little bit tight. That run, good stop once again by the 20 bunch.
Yeah, not a good stop by the Denny Hamlin bunch. You saw them get fumbled up there on the right front corner with the Jackman and the tire changer, and everybody cost him some spots.
Time for a race break. Stage 2 winner Christopher Bell, who won the last 2 spring races, maybe hoping for his own version of a three-peat at Phoenix. With Jamie McMurray, I'm Chris Myers, and before we go back up to the booth, coming to you from Victory Lane, and an IndyCar driver, very familiar, very comfortable in Victory Lane, a 2-time Indy 500 winner. He won the race, the IndyCar race here yesterday, passing Kyle Kirkwood with 7 laps to go. Nice to have Joseph Newgarden with us with Team Penske. So what should a driver, if we have somebody hoping for that pass late in this race, what should he know about pulling that off successfully, Joseph?
Well, I don't know they need a lot of advice from me, but I'll motivate them, I can tell you that. I was at a function last night with Team Penske and our partners. I said it's going to be a real shame if we don't double up this weekend. You know, so I know we did our job, you guys better deliver. And so we put the pressure on the Team Penske guys here. But it's been great to be here for this Cup weekend. My goodness, I hope we have more of these, to be quite honest with you. It's good for the fans, good for us. And it was so fun to drive this race yesterday. We had a car that was fast when we needed it.
Well, I was going to ask you which of the NASCAR drivers you connect with the most, but I'm looking at your shirt. I'm assuming it's Ryan Blaney. So my question is going to be, is there any chance we can get a mustache out of Joseph Newgarden?
I don't even know that I can grow half the facial hair. He grows so much hair.
It's so thick.
There must be so much testosterone in that man. It also just works for him. He looks like a pure NASCAR driver. I'm a huge Blaney fan. Great guy, great human being, incredible race car driver. You know, I'm going to be a little biased today. I'm going for Blaney, even though, look, a Team Penske win is what we want. We got great teammates. We actually have great camaraderie amongst everybody. They love watching our stuff and vice versa. We tune in every weekend. I'm always texting these guys, cheering for our team. So that's why I say I love this type of weekend. I really hope that we get more of this in the future.
It's good.
It's nice to have you here, and thanks for hanging around to stay and watch the race and be with us. And for more on Ryan Blaney's mustache, all right, hang around for this.
I just think it starts with the fullness of it, you know, not patchy.
I think length isn't super important in my opinion. I don't like to have mine super long. Honestly, be able to grow one. If you can't grow one, don't try.
I think it gives you special powers.
I've always been of the view, look fast, be fast.
Mustaches went away. I think they're making a comeback. So I think it's starting to become a wave of the times.
I think he has a better mustache. I just prefer mine.
I'm happy we got a mustache on the NASCAR side, and I'm happy Louis is rocking one on the IndyCar side, so we got both.
Look how intimidating that is.
That's your too clean cut.
I can't do it, but that is it's intimidating. Like, I don't want to mess with that guy when I say, I think it works for him personally.
It's a good fit out west, that Wyatt Earp look. Thanks again. All right, 33 career IndyCar wins. Let's head back up to Mike in the booth.
That's a Sam Elliott, a Tom Selleck level stash. But all right, stage 3, who do you like?
Well, I told you the 12 car was going to win when we came here, but I've changed my mind. I think the 22 car is the one. If Penske's going to be in victory lane, they're the smoothest, and they have that #1 box.
And I think it's going to be one of those Toyotas. I just don't know that they can keep up on these long runs, but we're about to find out.
Christopher Bell is going to be hard to deal with here as he and Joey Logano come to the green for stage 3. Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher in tow. And Austin Cindric around the outside for
Bubba
fourth.
Wallace, I heard you say that. You need to keep an eye on him. He's come a long ways. He's moved around a lot in this field. We've had ups and downs with this car. The car is very fast, and we're finally back in position up front.
Well, they've done a great job managing this race after the pit road penalty and adjusted on their car very loose yesterday in qualifying, and now he puts himself right at the front of this field with some great decisions and a fast car.
And exactly what he needs. He's watched that teammate at his win 3 in a row here. It's my turn. I want to try it.
Now, one car not in that picture is Kyle Larson. They had trouble with the jack on the left side and lost 5 positions on the pit stop. He's mired in 13th.
Well, it's definitely going to come down to not making any mistakes on pit road as we get towards the end of this race. You want your car to hang on as much as you can. You don't know whether you're going to have a short run, long run, but you have to anticipate some sort of long run coming at some point during this stage as we have 114 laps left to go.
Denny Hamlin didn't take off that well. Dropped from 9th back to 11th. You saw him in that picture of cars battling there for position. Here's Hamlin right now 11th behind Chase Elliott.
And it just gets harder back here. You lose those spots on pit road and you put yourself, you go from first, third to 7th 9th, 11th on that inside row or whatever position you start. But every row you lose, it just you become a little more vulnerable on all these restarts, and sometimes they go your way and sometimes it doesn't.
Now Carson Hocevar is in that top 10. He's 7th, just in front of Ty Gibbs and Ryan Blaney. Here's Hocevar's strategy.
I think we're going to go one stop, which will put us making the same length run like it's one, close to 60 laps each run. You could make it a case to pit twice, but like we've talked about with the cautions and people having tire issues, I think it makes sense to try to stretch it to do one stop or wait for the yellow.
And that's going to be a long ways, Larry, as you look at if it does go green, having to run that far is going to put some of these guys in a bad spot when we get to that 60, 70 lap range on tires and how their car is handling.
Yeah, we went back racing at 116 laps, so that would be 58 laps a run, so pitting somewhere around lap 240 to 245. I want you to watch that 2 car. They've done something really interesting. Austin Cindric, he was one of the drivers at that caution at lap 158 that did 2 right sides. They used their stickers. Here, they put sticker lefts, qualifying scuffs on the right. I'll be anxious to see how he is on the long run.
Holding 4th ahead of Reddick is Austin Cindric. All 3 Penske drivers in the top 10, all the Gibbs cars up toward the front, with the exception of Chase Briscoe, who is out of the race along with Noah Gragson and Cole Custer. Ryan Blaney has had an up and down day, but every time he's been sent to the back, he forges his way forward again. Here's his radio remix.
Fastest car on the track. Fastest car about every lap here. This is green checker, easy on fuel. Cool it down. Green checker, good job.
Top of the 22 box, make sure you're tight.
It's all the way down at the end, number 1. Left rear tire. We got a long way to go. Fastest car here.
Well, I like hearing fastest car, Kevin, but I don't like hearing pull into the 22 box. We got to put another lug nut on it.
Well, I think he's got one of the fastest cars here. I don't know that he's the only fastest car here.
Well, unfortunately, you won't know for a while, but he keeps clawing back up to the front. If anybody can give Bell a run for their money, if he can get there and keep the wheels on it, it'll be that 12 car.
Well, last lap, those 2 were the only drivers in the 2830s. That's Christopher Bell, the leader, and Ryan Blaney in 5th. Caution is out at lap 2:11. Ryan Preece, his RFK Ford, Connor Zilich, Team Trackhouse got together. Zilich the lap before went way high in turns 3 and 4, and they're going to come in from the right side of the frame here.
Yeah, and it looks like that car is sideways before it gets to the dog leg right there, but gets into Ryan Preece and he spins out. But it looked like the Zilich car was sideways, and we saw that piece of the tire on the racetrack. So
7th caution flag of the day. And let's ride along with Connor Zilich and the Wendy's cam.
Yeah. Something definitely got that car sideways. You heard it on the throttle too.
This is from Preece. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see him spin down into him.
No free pass as everybody running is on the lead lap. And pit road is open. Larry, how many sets we got left?
Well, if they use their qualifiers in that little short run in stage 2, everybody should have 2 sets of stickers, but you're going to have to make one more stop even after this.
All right, Regan.
Ryan Blaney in the 12 car, sticker tires going on that car. Actually pretty well balanced that run. He was pleased with it. Had been battling tight since stage 1, but not too bad here. Jamie?
Well, Bubba Wallace in the 23, good run there, just saying that he's getting beat through the center, just too tight a 4-tire stop here. Christopher Bell, if I've got my code words figured out, the call was Camry, right sides only.
Now 3 drivers stayed out. And we'll review that when we come back. Caution out. Connor Zilich starts to spin and collects Ryan Preece. .98 laps to go in Phoenix, working the 7th caution of the day. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven, legendary. All right, Clint Harvey is going to tell us the rest of the story.
Old Paul Harvey, here's how I call it. You're riding along with the 47, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Watch this. gets into Zilich down into Priest. So you couldn't see it from that first replay, but definitely got in the back of the 88.
So what you're saying is there's nothing wrong with the tires other than they might have been off the ground.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
All right, Connor Zilich able to continue, and he is still on the lead lap. Had a speeding penalty on pit road. So up front will be Josh Berry and Chase Elliott. Neither of them stopped. And Larry, we're told they were both behind by one set of tires. So if you don't have them, you can't put them on, right?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. They have each made, well, Chase Elliott has made 6 pit stops, so counting what he started the race on, that would be 7 sets he's used. But yeah, Chase Elliott, yeah, that was Josh Berry. Chase Elliott has made 7 pit stops, and one of them was for fuel only, so that means he should only have 1 set of tires left. Talking about Chase Elliott, the 9.
All right, so the cars that will start on the front row did not stop. The next 5 cars took 2 tires: Bell, Gibbs, Buscher, Chastain, and Alfredo. Everybody from Joey Logano, 8th on back, got 4 tires this time. This should be really interesting.
Yeah, and they didn't have as many laps on them that time, so guys with 2 tires are hoping that it works out better for them with less laps, but we'll see.
Back to green.
Oh, Chastain's in trouble.
Oh, and he collects 3 cars, smashing into the outside wall.
That 22 something to do with this.
8th caution, lap 217. Tough day for Anthony Alfredo and Austin Cindric. Had a great car, had a great run going. Not sure if he'll be able to continue. And there's Chastain.
See the right rear toe link broke.
Oh, that's done. Now here's Joey Logano's radio.
Dang it. I didn't mean to do that, obviously. Trying to flip up.
Well, let's unfold this.
Okay, if you look back to the inside row, you can see Joey come to his bumper, start pushing him as he moved down, got into him. You heard him say, "I didn't mean to," but
well, it's
regardless, he got in the back of the one
It's so
car.
hard to push down there because it's rough.
Especially, yes, agree. As soon as he came down
got
on
him
the
right
apron,
there.
right at the wrong time. I don't think he meant to do that, but it doesn't change the fact. Huge hit for Alfredo, even bigger for Cindric.
Cindric took a massive hit right
there.
there.
Sure did. With a good car, solid weekend, unloaded a fast race car with that 2 car. Chastain was along for the ride. He tried to get it gathered up. Couldn't do it.
It just doesn't take much with these cars. Once you get that back end light and you get the back of the car from being straight, it's as soon as you dump out of the throttle or try to correct, and Joey was on his bumper all the way until he wrecked pretty much right there. So
now Austin Cindric has said on the radio that he is okay after that hard hit. His average running position today was 6th, but he is out of the car, out of the race. From Joey Logano.
Front and line. Middle lane's clear. Come on, stay down, 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 down.
Timing thing. Right as he came across that apron, his bumper got to them. I think he was honestly trying to push him, Kevin. It looked to me like, but pushed a little too hard at the wrong time.
yeah, and you could hear it in Joey's voice. I mean, he just made a mistake right there and got into the back bumper at the wrong time.
From Austin Cindric.
This is going to hurt.
Oh. And it just happens so fast, and you can hear it and see it right there, but if you're in the driver's seat, the amount of impact that just jars you in such a short amount of time, especially in that part of the racetrack, you're not expecting it.
This is Anthony Alfredo.
He almost got by him. You heard him floor it. He saw them have trouble, lifted a second, went back to the gas to try to get by them.
Man, that Austin Cindric shot right there. That's a big shot, Clint.
It sure is, and we're fortunate that there was only a couple of those guys with severe damage. That could have been big right there towards the front of the field.
And that was the good side compared to the right front.
Yeah, a lot of damage on Chastain. Another car that was having a just a solid, quiet day.
Now, Bubba Wallace
right here
got away, but he was right in the middle of that.
Yeah, and as long as the front of that car and that left front lip on that fender are not tore up, it should be okay. I mean, the side's got a lot of tire marks and everything on it, but
we know the bodies on these things are tough. I'm not worried about the body, worried about toe and camber. When you see an impact on a wheel like that, that's really the only thing that takes these things out of it anymore.
But you got to be aggressive on these restarts. You can't give an inch, and I think that was just Joey trying to get to the back bumper and give him just a slight push that turned into a slight push at the wrong spot. It's turned into a melee. You don't see that type of stuff out of Joey Logano very often.
So Team Penske's hopes now rest with Blaney in 6th and Logano in 11th. After starting out with all 3 cars in the top 5 spots. Eight cautions today, despite stage 1 going caution free as it did here last fall. And that graphic doesn't begin to tell the story of Ryan Blaney's day, who, due to loose wheels on pit stop, has had to come from the back twice.
Well, he's got, I think, one of the best 2 cars in the field, and he's just not been able to stay up there and race at the front of the pack to showcase that more than the first stage there. So a couple mistakes on pit road today. We know that this is going to come down to being on pit road one more time. So
you can usually overcome one, but usually when you have 2, that's a game changer. But we're still in this thing.
This tells the story. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see it right there. Domination. Oh no, not bad. Ah, you got to be kidding me. But somehow, some way, we're still heading back north, trending in the right direction.
Now, where was Ryan Blaney when this happened?
Luckily, he was down on the bottom, Pox.
Well, this will be our pod's big move. Watch for the number 12. Right behind Logano and scoots away.
Yeah, luckily those cars went up the racetrack. Unlucky for all the cars that were up the racetrack, but that's what happens when people start staying out on the racetrack. People start taking 2 tires, and you still take 4 tires. It buries you in the field, and you start having trouble in incidents like that when everything starts getting rough here towards the end of these races.
You know, as that accident unfolded, there was side-to-side contact between Riley Herbst and I believe Zane Smith. But both got away without any major damage.
Yeah, I want to put it credit, like, again, on these restarts, yes, they're so chaotic and so important to be aggressive, but he did leave a little bit of room in front of him to be able to avoid that accident. You know, talking about Ryan Blaney, when he shot to the bottom, had a little bit of a view there and an out, if you will, to be able to get away from.
Yeah, I think a lot of that out came because Logano got such a good restart. He was able to be right on the 1 car's bumper of Ross Chastain, and sometimes that stuff works your way and sometimes it doesn't, but luckily Blaney was on the right side of the fence this time.
Larry, you counting laps or tires or both?
Next week I'll be counting cards. This week I'm counting tires. And looking at all of the leaders, depending on if they use their qualifying scuffs in that short running in stage 2, everybody should have 2 sets of tires. Now, one of them may be that set of scuffs, but everybody should have at least 1 set of stickers left.
So are we now where we are, Larry, and we've got 89 laps to go right here. What do we do on strategy?
I think we still split it. Maybe Jamie Little can tell us what they're thinking.
Yeah, what a day it's been for Chase Elliott. Alan Gustafson is crew chief. They had some damage earlier. You guys fought your way back, and now you sit 3rd. 2 sets of sticker tires. How's the car? You think it's good enough to hang on to the top 3 as of now?
Yeah, probably not on the old tires. It's just been a little bit of a struggle for us on track. Pit stops have been amazing. Really kind of kept us in it, but getting spun out by the 7 early really hurt us, got us down a set, so we really had no choice. We've kind of got to do damage control here to get back on the same sets of tires as the rest of the people. And yeah, hopefully we can get an opportune caution or play this last strategy right and get a good finish out of it. But yeah, it's been a struggle with the Napa guys who grinding. We'll make it happen.
Need to be a little bit better on the long run, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. He is the only Chevrolet in the top 9, with Larson 10th, hosts of our 12th, and Byron 13th. Regan?
Mike, Austin Cindric out of the care center. Austin, having a good run today. Looked like you're an innocent bystander there. How frustrating is this?
Yeah, obviously it's a frustrating start with so many fast race cars, and had another one today with our Quicker State Menards Ford Mustang, and yeah, obviously the restarts get crazy here, and not really sure what happened other than just cars jumping right across the racetrack, and I'm not sure I've ever jumped head on into a wall, but that changed today. No, it's just a shame. I'm not discouraged though. This two teams shown me a lot in the first 4 races, and yeah, it's just a shame we don't have the results for it.
All right, we'll see you in Vegas. Thanks, Austin.
I did see the damage when we saw the left front of Bubba Wallace's car. You watched it right there in that replay. Hit pretty hard.
All right, we'll be coming green this time. Josh Berry's Ford and Christopher Bell's Toyota on the front row. Chase Elliott's Chevy. Ty Gibbs Toyota row 2. Buscher and Blaney in Fords. Wallace and Hamlin in Toyotas. Reddick and Larson are your top 10.
When you make gambles like this, talking about Josh Berry and some of these other cars at a deficit, this is what you need. You want these cautions to keep stacking up.
Remember, Berry and Elliott on older tires by about 20 laps than the fellows they're racing against.
Yeah, and you see Chase Elliott way up the racetrack right there. Talk about him staying out on older tires. Just so tough to refire as we see him 3 wide for second place.
And Blaney shoots ahead of that battle with Ty Gibbs to his inside.
I can't believe we're saying his name again for second place, but he did it. Here he is.
Chris Buscher, he has kept himself at the front of this pack for a few runs now, so they've definitely got that 17 car dialed in to be much more competitive in the second half of this race. But you see a lot of the same players. Bubba Wallace still up there, doesn't appear to have any damage from that car, as you see Denny Hamlin on the inside of the 17 of Chris Buscher.
Meanwhile, Berry and Elliott restarted on the front row, and they both quickly dropped out of the top 10 on those older tires.
Yeah, it's just so hard to fire off, and tires mean so much today. But see, 35
who bounced
car,
off the wall? Yeah,
Riley Herbst in the wall right there down the back straightaway.
And there's Chase Elliott all the way back there after that restart.
Just not the day that we expected out of Hendrick Motorsports. They're definitely going to go back and be scratching their heads when they get back to headquarters.
Well, and it's a lot like Coda. You know, we saw him finish, I think, 6th there at Coda, but not really that dominant performance of. See, Kyle Larson is the top Hendrick car right here in 9th. So
look at this back of the pack. You got 3 champions right here. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, the 9 of Chase Elliott, all struggling to gain ground and all outside the top 25.
Yeah, and Allen knew they were in trouble with the 9 car, and he's found himself all the way to the back.
Yep. Teammates battling for 3rd. And Tyler Reddick, hopeful of perhaps a 4th win in a row. He's currently in 8th. Here's his radio.
Something's wrong with the brakes. I got a long pedal.
Copy that. Just make sure your fans are on.
We've seen some of that today, Kevin.
Well, and we've seen them have to use more brakes, but we're getting ready to have a battle for the lead here shortly.
Unbelievable. You can't keep a good man down. Catching them is one thing, passing them is the other, but this thing has passed every car on this track, maybe more than once.
Last lap, Blaney was faster than Bell by almost 0.2 of a second. This time, quicker by 0.5 tenths.
He's going to make that car wide, try to take the air off of him. If he goes high, we're going high. If he goes low, we're going to go low.
Well, we saw saw Christopher Bell make that choice of taking those 2 tires. And like you say, Clint, being able to hold that car on the bottom of the racetrack right there, getting that left front tire in that trough to be able to pull it around the corner. Ryan Blaney's just been so good at staying so low on both ends.
Doing it the right way.
corner
too. Clear down on the apron. That car does everything he needs it to do. Bell's doing a good job. See him moving up. He goes high, I'm going to go high. Take the air. You got to do everything you could do to keep the air off the nose of his car.
Well, and that's been the biggest deficit of the Ford. When it's in traffic like this, no matter how fast your car is,
look at that.
It seems like they have trouble being able to keep the handling of their car where it needs to be. So Bell knows that, and he wants to put his car exactly where Blaney is to try to take the air off the front end of that 12.
And frankly, this is the battle everybody expected today. Bell won here last spring. Blaney won here last fall. They are the 2 best at this racetrack right now. And here they are fighting for the lead, but with a lot of laps to go.
This is definitely a mano-a-mano battle. Love what I'm seeing out of these cars. It is amazing that we're talking about Blaney again after not 1, but 2 mishaps on pit road. To the back, to the front, to the back, to the front.
And think back, Dakota, when Blaney was, we felt like he was substantially better than Tyler Reddick, but he gets stuck at this point, not being able to finish the pass. So the sooner Blaney can make this happen, the better chance he has, because the longer it goes, the harder it is on those front tires because it gets tighter. Tires get hotter. He's having to use more brake, and they just equalize more and more every lap.
And when we watched him pass for the lead in that first stage, it was when they got into lap traffic. You don't have that right now.
And you see the 12 right there. He went to go high because Bell had been running low, and Bell is just mirror driving right now, trying to do everything that he can to pick the right line to put his car in front of Blaney's.
Moving up once again, Michael McDowell now 15th as he gets past Josh Berry. Eric Jones has had a nice rebound after getting back on the lead lap. Shane Van Gisbergen there. And Josh Berry. And Austin Dillon. Dillon has been in the top 20 all day. Maybe not in the top 10, but he's had a good steady day and class of the RCR field today.
Yeah, he was actually right there at the edge of the top 10 earlier in the day. So decent run by that 3 car of Austin Dillon. You see the 21 car, Josh Berry, there is still trying to keep himself as far forward as possible with the no pit decision, but every lap just loses a little bit more ground. And 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen, we've seen him turn around backwards and battling his way to a decent day. He's done a really good job today and been up towards that top 10 as well at points.
Lap time's pretty constant for these 2. Blaney, every lap, maybe a couple hundredths quicker than Bell, but to no effect.
They get into lap traffic. Blaney's still my favorite right there. He can still turn down lower than him down here in 3 and 4. Obviously, we're in 1 and 2, but every single lap he's able to wrap the bottom in 3 and 4 a little bit tighter than the leader of Bell. They get into lap traffic, that might be his opportunity.
Tyler Reddick trying to move back up. He and Joey Logano battle for 7th. Bell and Blaney for the lead on a high 80-degree day in Phoenix.
Well, someday I may tell the tale of metal tangle went into your world I fell.
We are back, and Kyle Busch has right front tire trouble again. Last car on the lead lap is Kyle Busch. We stay green. Ryan Blaney has tried the top, the bottom, and there's the first bump. As around goes Van Gisbergen, and caution is out.
Did he get him?
I don't think so, Clint, but I do love the fact that Ryan just finally went to using the front bumper.
Tires are up, get caught up here.
Blaney, as you watched in our double box coverage, had tried the top, he tried the bottom, he tried the crossover, he tried the cross under. He'd done everything but hit Christopher Bell.
Well, we know the deficit that those Fords are at when you get in traffic, and I think for him to drive in there and just try to move him up a little bit. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. At some point, you're here to win the race, and you run out of options. And he knows that Bell was mirror driving to try to put himself in that position.
Here's Blaney's radio.
Just driving away. Driving away. Don't matter. All the work you do, give up down the straightaway.
Yeah, well, those Toyotas have handled pretty good down the straightaway, and you can see that up off the corner when they come off of turn 4.
Let's go back to Van Gisbergen and how he got turned around here. See them getting into turn 3. Did Austin? I mean, obviously he was behind him. Did he get into him, or was he just loose?
Hard to tell right there.
It was really close. Watch this. Kind of the same thing. The old chrome horn going. All but had him passed.
And the lap that you're going to make it happen, the caution comes out.
Terrible.
Nothing has gone Ryan Blaney's way this today, other than the fact that he has a rocket ship underneath him.
That is exactly right.
So Christopher Bell is still the leader under this 9th caution flag. Van Gisbergen was 17th. And Ross Chastain will get the free pass. Regan?
Like Ryan Blaney in the 12 car, you heard the radio there, not really sure what he needs. Said the car's pretty good, just a little bit tight when he moves up top. They're not going to make a change now until the next run. They may try to make the front turn better. In the 54 at Ty Gibbs, just mega loose this run, complaining about sliding the rears too much. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin pits from 3rd. He said on the longer run it gets a little edgy and he's still a little tight on exit. A 4-tire stop for him and his teammate Christopher Bell. Pretty happy, just wants more grip, and that 4 tires right there should do the trick.
Bell gets out ahead of Gibbs and Blaney. Then Buscher, Hamlin, and Logano.
Yeah, and you see right there, Blaney got all the wheels tight, but they lost another spot on pit road.
So to explain Ryan Blaney's frustration, he has lost a net 24 positions on pit road today. There's Christopher Bell winning the race off with 64 laps to go in Phoenix. NASCAR race day next Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time on FS1. Cup race at 4 p.m. Eastern time on FS1. Remember, Josh Berry got his first win in last year's Las Vegas spring race. Might have been a little contact between Austin Dillon and Shane Van Gisbergen as Van Gisbergen started to go around here.
I found a little bit better view of it. You could see, first thing I want you to see is how quick the 3-car got to him. So that tells me I think Shane was having a little bit loose getting into the corner, but I'm going to show you an in-car here next. It's going to paint a little different picture. I think he's pretty loose. You can see he's turning to the right. I think he got loose and was, I think Austin obviously got into the back of him and finished him off, but I don't think he turned
He didn't
around.
start it.
That's right. Finished it, right?
Tough break for a driver who's had a really strong day, and that is the number 17 going to the back. Too fast on pit road.
Gosh. So many mistakes on this pit road. We've seen so many mistakes today with all these wheels and tires and speeding, and ruins your day.
Yep, Chris Buescher.
50.05. You can run 49.999, 50.05 on the 17.
Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs will lead them back to green.
Wasn't the best start for Blaney. It's going to be all right here.
Blaney third, under fire from Hamlin and Larson.
Here comes Larson back to the conversation.
Yeah, they've done a great job of battling all day, of just making that car a little bit better, getting the restarts when you need them. You see Logano right there, stuck in the middle, 3 wide, under Carson Hocevar and William Byron there.
Oh, contact! Around Logano, and he collects Berry and Suarez. And
I think that was Allmendinger and the that got into the back of him.
10th caution, lap 254, and the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, well, you get yourself stuck in the middle of the pack like that and then buried in track position, and went to go up the racetrack right there, and it looked like the 16 car just got into the back of him.
It was definitely Allmendinger. Tore up some race cars here, big time.
Is okay. Little damage there on Chase Elliott. I say a little, relatively to the other cars. All right, watch the 16 coming here.
Well, watch, you could see 22's in trouble. Got up, shot back across the apron. 16 gets in there shooting, stayed on the racetrack, and as Joey came back up, they got into one another, and bam!
Yeah, and he just didn't expect the 16 car to be there, and it just all, as he started to come up the racetrack,
see him moving back up.
Allmendinger snuck in there, and he was there.
That's your pole sitter. Their day is done.
And look, the spotters at this racetrack are in turn 3, in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That angle going into turn 1, the driver's kind of on his own right there as far as making those tight calls like that. So you know that going in from a driver's standpoint. The spotter will give you a suggestion, but it is not guaranteed because of the angle of the spotters at this track.
Now, as this unfolded, you'll see Chase Elliott get some damage, and I believe Shane Van Gisbergen gets a piece of this too. Let's ride with Joey Logano. 7 cars involved in all. What a debris field.
What a great shot.
What a tore up race car.
Tore up race car, but
he definitely came back up onto the racetrack pretty quick from being on the apron.
Well, what happens in these cars, Clint, I'll tell you in a second. what happens in these cars when you spin and you're trying to save it, the wheels are so far turned to the right that you can't get them back to the left. Oh, he even lifted. He knew, AJ knew he was in a bad spot, and Joey didn't know he was there, and he lifted.
The 22 is what I'm talking about. He came up a little faster than normal. Usually they'll stay down on the apron quite a bit more. I think he was trying to protect his position, and AJ was there.
Suarez had a sharp left, almost missed it. Close doesn't count. And in real time.
Yeah, that audio is unbelievable, and really, as you listen to that, you can just hear the violence of the wreck, and what great shots from the camera guys to see all the debris and all the replays that we have. There's a lot going on right there, Clint.
Water flying out of the front of that thing, and a radiator broke.
Here's who's involved in wreck: 7 cars, half of which will be headed for the garage. Here's AJ Allmendinger's radio.
Any damage? No, he just is still in the gap. Just yeah, no damage. All right, we'll have to stay out.
What a tore up race car.
Man. Now there are the spotters that Kevin referenced up between turns 3 and 4. They do fortunately have a bit of shade up there, but
this might be considered a short track, right, Kevin? But boy, you hit hard here.
You do hit hard, and you're seeing it today. We've had some between Austin Cindric and Joey Logano right there. Those are 2 of the biggest shots that they'll take all year.
Briscoe.
Kyle Busch will get back on the lead lap with the free pass. There's Elliott's damage. And Kyle has had 2 right fronts go down today. At least one of them involved a trip to the wall.
Yeah, Kyle's been he looks like he's been in a war with that car. It's right front fender, right side scuff marks, 2 flat tires, at least 2 flat tires.
Larry, the pits will open with 53 to go here.
Yeah, they only ran 1 lap, Mike. Yeah, guys at the back that have damage and all that, they may come, some of them slid their tires. We feel like everybody's sitting on 1 set of tires. There is no way you can burn them here. You're going to have to stay out.
Now remember the 2 drivers that did not stop, Josh Berry and Chase Elliott. Where did they end up? Right in the middle of this. After the tires faded, lost position, back into the 20s, and right into the heart of the storm.
Yeah, the further you go back, the higher your odds are of getting in those wrecks. And you see right there, Chase Elliott really had no choice with the tire count and the amount of tires that they had left in the pits, but it puts you back in the hornet's nest, and when something happens, you got a really good opportunity to be right in the middle of it. So they'll get that car cleaned up a little bit of Chase Elliott's, but he won't have any chance to run at the front the rest of the day.
Regan?
Mike, Josh Berry just stepping out of the care center. Josh, looked like that kind of just landed in your lap there when you got going down through the tri-oval. What'd you see, and how disappointing after having a good day for a little while there?
Oh yeah, just quite the day. I mean, just wasn't very good. Had a couple good restarts and got up front, and obviously was down a set of tires from early in the race and had to stay out. And got back there late and just wrong place at the wrong time. So I just want to thank everybody at Hero and Wood Brothers Racing, Ford Racing, everything that they do for us, and we'll go try to get them next week.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Regan. 4 caution flags in stage 3 already, and we still have 53 laps to go.
And that's a long time at this place. I know we talk about it being a short track, but it's a long ways left in this race to be able to have another caution, have a long run, short run. You still have enough laps to be able to experience anything at this point.
All right, let's give you an in case you missed it summary of the day. Kyle Busch with tire trouble early that did not bring out the caution, but at lap 94, Shane Van Gisbergen did. Then William Byron. Chase Briscoe, lap 132. Hard into the wall. And on the restart, Ross Chastain and everybody piled up. Look at that car in the air of Anthony Alfredo, the 48. Big damage there for Austin Cindric, knocked out of the race. And most recently, lap 254, Joey Logano, Josh Berry out of the race in a crash that also involved A.J. Allmendinger, Daniel Suarez, Chase Elliott, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Well, dogleg wasn't very good on Joey today, was it? Gave him fits. There's 2 in a row. Finally finished him off.
260 laps complete. Blaney and Bell have been class of the field and the stage winners. 20 lead changes among 6 drivers, 28 on the lead lap now. Working caution number 10.
I love it.
Well, here's what's around the turn. IndyCar from Arlington next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern on Fox. After that, switch over to FS1 and join us from Las Vegas for the Cup Series race, 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The NHRA is back in action March 22nd with the Arizona Nationals on FS1.
Kevin, what you've seen so far, talking about Bell and Blaney, kind of our 2 horses, right? What you've seen, are these cautions helping one or the other? Short run versus long run speed?
I think I think that as the tires have been cycled, it seems to be on Blaney's side on the restarts from what I've seen so far. But I think
that's the way
that,
I feel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we agree on something today.
Well, if Blaney can get the lead, he might be able to drive away. But
I agree.
He getting the lead,
all but had it, right?
But driving in Bell's slipstream, not doing him any good. Getting off the corner, can't beat that 20 down the straightaway.
And don't forget about Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has done a great job of inserting himself into a position that can win this race. Don't count that kid out going for his first win.
The worst thing that happened to Blaney is he's not second. So he's not on the front row. So we talked about the deficit that he's had the last couple of weeks in traffic. That puts him at a little bit bigger disadvantage because now he's on row 2. So we saw in the last restart he didn't get going very well, didn't get through 1 and 2 to be able to do anything. So now he's in traffic and going to be a little tougher.
And you've got Denny Hamlin on the second row trying to avenge that crushing defeat here last fall. Everybody on their feet, 50 to go. Will this be the final restart? Don't count on it.
Wasn't a bad jump by Gibbs on the bottom at all. Oh, he's loose.
He's
running
loose.
him up the racetrack.
Larson around the outside.
Yeah, and Kyle Larson's going to put those guys 3 wide on the top.
This is not what Blaney wanted to be, in the middle, 3 wide.
Yeah, and Blaney's not going to be able to. Little door bang right there with Kyle Larson, but he's not going to be able to not going to be able to clear them. They're both going to get a side draft off of him, and he's going to be stuck right there again.
Bell, Gibbs, Larson drive away. Blaney now has to battle Reddick.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. When you're on that second row on those restarts, you just don't know how the chaos is going to work out. Kyle Larson put him in a bad position, and he's come out on the short end of the stick, he and Denny Hamlin.
The big loser here was Hamlin, who restarted in the second row and is now back to 7th.
Reddick's not done yet, looking to the inside of Larson. Out of nowhere. Great restart for him. Not at all what Blaney wanted.
And really what those guys, Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs, want right now, they want this 5 car and the 45 car to race this 12 as long as they can Christopher Bell especially, to try to get that gap as far out as possible, because you know that the 12 is fast, but now you've got him buried back there in 5th place.
Hamlin continues to fade. He's back to 9th.
I know that 12 car, that driver behind the wheel is so frustrated. I'm frustrated for him up here watching today.
Well, nothing's gone right for him. As you look at Denny Hamlin right here, he started right beside Ryan Blaney, and he has not done anything on this restart after restarting 3rd. So we know that the 11 hasn't been great on the short runs, and when you're in a position to not be great on the short runs, it puts you very vulnerable with everybody else as you go through these first couple laps. So he's starting to make some ground back forward, back on the outside of William Byron right here. And a lot of times, Clint, when your car is good on a long run like that, you give up those first handful of laps with the car having whatever handling characteristic it does, whether it's tight or loose, and you just have to wait for the tires to come in.
The problem is you end up spending the rest of the run passing the cars you gave up on the restart.
That's right.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, because while you're waiting, everybody's going past you and producing this log jam right here.
Look at Austin Dillon right there. We talked about him being good. He's got himself racing for 8th spot right here.
It's a good run for him. Basically the lone wolf RCR car still out there and holding strong.
3rd place, Tyler Reddick coming back toward the front. Blaney looking on and diving for the bottom.
Yeah, and Tyler Reddick can just not clear Kyle Larson up on the outside right there. And that's allowed Ryan Blaney to get underneath the 45 car.
Blaney must make quick time with these cars if he's going to have anything to say for this lead, because Bell is driving away.
Yeah, right now Bell has a little over a 10th on Ty Gibbs in 2nd, but both of those cars are a couple of tenths faster right now because these guys are back here racing their butts off.
You know, almost a half a second faster than this group.
You saw Blaney having to toss and catch it off turn 2 there.
He's definitely loose. I've been watching him. He backs the corner up, getting into 3 especially. It tells me he's a little bit loose getting in, but his ability to get on the gas down here in 1 and 2 before everybody else has enabled him to pass the field so many times. He's in trouble though. Cars definitely looks loose to me.
Joey Logano checked and released at the infield care center. Carson Hocevar working A.J. Allmendinger there for 11th place behind Michael McDowell.
And Hocevar's he's had a consistent day. He's been, 5th to 12th right in there. And that's a good day. Solid day. Hasn't had any controversy with anybody and been able to build on that as you go forward with cars that are finishing races. That'll eventually put him in position to take advantage of the days when he has a chance to win. So he's overcome a lot having to start at the rear.
Well, half of the top 12 have had to rebound from something. Larson got caught for speeding. Blaney, 2 loose wheels. Wallace speeding in an accident. Byron a cut tire, McDowell a cut tire. Hocevar had to start the race in the back, and Riley Herbst with an issue early on.
Well, next time we could just shorten that up, Mike. Could you just tell us who has it?
That's what I was thinking. And I would tell you who. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to jinx him. It's that 20 car. He's about the only one out here that has had a flawless day so far.
Christopher Bell, a 10th quicker than Ty Gibbs that last lap. He has a lead of a 2.5 with Blaney 2.5 back now. Larson and Reddick.
Yeah, and this is no fluke. He's obviously led a lot of laps today, but he's also won this race the last 2 years. And let's not forget the year that he was racing for the championship and had the brake rotor explode with the great performance on that day. And Denny Hamlin, seen him be so dominant in the years past. But it's no coincidence that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 7 are Toyotas, and they have definitely done that again today.
All right, let's go to the care center. Regan.
Mike, Joey Logano out of the care center. Joey, the tri-oval on restart seeming like it's been a problem spot here the past few of them. What happened from your perspective, and how hopeless is it feeling when you're sliding backwards across the track?
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what happened there. I guess didn't realize I was 3 wide. Thought I was still 2, but even then, it still seemed like there was some room there, but just ran out of space in the 1. Just seemed like racing, I guess. It's not much, just is what it is. And then I didn't mean to get Ross there on the start. I had a run and kind of went down to the bottom with me, and gosh, it's been a rough day. So we had a good Shell Pennzoil Mustang. You know, we were probably a top 3 car, maybe 4 car. It just really hurts to be here. Yeah. Thanks, Joey.
Started from the pole and out of the race, Joey Logano.
Yeah, and you hear the disappointment in Joey. I think he knows he could have prevented both of those wrecks. So he's frustrated with the situation and himself more than anything, it sounds like.
And he also came into today, how could you not, thinking you were going to be a factor to win this race, and he was.
4th place battle, Larson and Reddick. Denny Hamlin has rebounded. He's coming back forward, having passed Bubba Wallace.
And that's right into what you were saying. The car just doesn't take off very well in a short run, but long run it comes right to it, right?
Yeah. To be extraordinary on the long runs here, you're going to have to give up some of those laps. It's just a matter of how many laps you give up and how much faster are you than the rest of the field. But unfortunately for Denny, he's not faster than Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney as the run gets towards the end of those runs. So he winds up being better than the other guys on the long run, but it's not going to put him in a position to win the race unless we have a caution or something here at the end.
Daniel Suarez, the 3rd driver knocked out of the race in that crash, also released from the care center. 28 drivers on the lead lap. Ross Chastain running 26 laps down. Everybody else is on the lead lap here, Larry, with 32 to go.
Yeah, Mike, I know we've had 10 cautions, and I'm not sure we're done with cautions yet, but when you look at the 8 races here with the Gen 7 car, average of the last caution sitting there right now, 31 laps to go, 2 overtime finishes, including last fall, and believe it or not, Phoenix all-time 11 overtime finishes, 3rd only behind Daytona and Talladega.
Well, we got lucky with a caution right here.
Yeah, and you see the right front tire down on that 88 car of Connor Zillage.
See, Blaney, I think, was looking to the inside, yeah, for 2nd place.
So we stay green. Blaney's lap time's a few hundredths of a second quicker than Christopher Bell. If we stay green to the finish, it'll be a run of 49 laps. One of the longer runs today.
Well, he's going to have to put up some spectacular laps right here with 30 to go to be able to make that gap up to Christopher Bell. Not saying that he can't do it, but how much, if he does do it, how much does he have left to be able to maneuver around behind that car? That has been the struggle.
That's right.
Of this 12 car the last 2 weeks, of being in traffic once he finally gets there to be able to have the turn to be able to make the pass.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. All right, in the event that he does catch him, right? This time, Kevin, the difference will probably be in lap traffic. That could help him if he can catch him.
There is the gain over the last 4 laps. That gap is closing, albeit hundredths at a time.
And I want to see the next 4 or 5, because that one was as he was getting involved with trying to pass Gibbs.
Okay. The gap now back to 3 seconds.
Yeah, we saw him right there up the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. That has not been where he's made the big gains throughout the race today. So that was interesting. He actually lost a little bit of time on that lap. So I believe that 12 car is better wrapping the bottom of the corner. I know he's probably searching, but I'm not sure that it's the right time to search for any speed. But you see him up the racetrack again, so
yeah.
Maybe he's got a different handling.
Oh, there's Austin Hill with a cut tire.
Right rear tire down.
Down. Don't speed.
He is not going to bring out a caution.
Made it to pit road.
Wow.
And the reason that you know that, and Clint knew that so fast, is that left front tire starts to come off the ground. So seen a couple tire failures right in a row. So
people getting nervous out there.
Sure. Hill was 24th. Comes to pit road. He'll get back in the race. If the caution would come out, would that be to Blaney's benefit? Would a 20-lap run be enough to shoot to his strengths or not?
Depends where he comes out of the pits.
Oh, true.
Oh,
come on.
I'm just
so
being
true,
honest.
Though.
I'm just being honest with you. It
I
just
really
depends.
look at we're losing time.
Yeah.
So I think it might be the only way he can catch him.
And I think if you do have that caution, I mean, obviously his best case scenario is if he comes out first.
There it is, right rear tire with the 3 car. Having such a great day. The caution's finally out.
11th caution of the day for 9th place Austin Dillon. The only one of the Childress cars that had not had tire trouble today, and he brings the caution out here with 25 to go.
And we're right back in the same position that we were at the end of the year when we were racing for a championship.
Yep.
You're going to have about 20 laps to go. You're going to have 2 tires. You're going to have 4 tires. You're going to be all over the place with those 2 strategies. So,
what I think you're trying to say is all hell's fixing to break loose.
I am.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. All right, Dillon's going to make it around onto pit road. And hopefully didn't tear too much up getting there.
Well, he hasn't yet, but it's definitely making a mess coming apart.
There'll be debris to clean up. And that will make it a short run to the finish. And that may well benefit Christopher Bell.
Maybe. Or somebody that gambles, throws 2 tires on, or stays out. That's the thing about this racetrack. Once this starts happening, you don't know if that thing's going to go 15 laps green, or we're going to have green, you know, just one after another cautions. It just, you got to hope that you made the right choice here, but don't beat yourself.
Larry, what wins the race? 2 tires here or 4?
Well, I think it's going to be 4, but if I'm back there in the field, we've got basically 26, 25 drivers on the lead lap. Why not roll the dice and try just right?
And that's the dangerous thing about this scenario.
I don't like that, Larry. I think you try just right side tires. You're going to be out. You're going to be a moving chicane out there. We've seen it before with drivers that didn't stop, straight to the rear.
Denny Hamlin wishes he'd have put 2 tires on last year.
Well, it may not win the race, Mike, but if you're sitting back there 20th, it's probably going to buy you a better finish.
Okay, I'll buy that, Larry. But now remember, last year in Hamlin's case, there weren't this many laps to go. It was a very short run to the finish, wasn't it?
But hey, if the cautions start happening, what do cautions do?
Cautions breed cautions,
says Darrell.
And the other, right. the other thing that you can't quite put your finger on is how many guys do it. You know, that's what Denny Hamlin was banking on with those 4 tires, and then all of a sudden you have 8 or 9 guys in front of you that put 2 tires on. Early in the race, we didn't have that many do it, but we're about to find out.
Well, here they all come. 25 lead lap cars. Regan.
Mike, the code word for Ryan Blaney was yellow. Crew Chief Jonathan Hassler asking him, are you all good with that? He said, yes, I am all good with that. We'll see if that means 2 or 4 tires. No comments on the car for him. As it looks like 2 tires for Ryan Blaney, the 54 of Ty Gibbs. The same thing, 2 tires. He's been loose everywhere. Jamie?
Code word for Christopher Bell is Burger King. Final set of sticker tires. We're sitting there. We'll see if it's an audible or not to take right sides only. Just enough fuel. It will be 4 tires for the most dominant car of the day, Mike, down and away.
So the Gibbs team with split strategy. Ty Gibbs with 2 tires, Christopher Bell with 4.
I just saw deja vu right there. I'm afraid.
Looks a lot like last fall, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well,
you're going to need some help.
Place your bets.
That's a lot of cars in front of me.
But that's what makes this sport entertaining. Variables and choices.
Well, Ty Gibbs has put himself in a position to have a chance to win this race.
Yes, sir.
But so did Ryan Blaney, because his stiffest competition is now behind him with the 20 car.
Look how fast this stop was for just 2 tires. And Gibbs a little impatient, but he went on the jack. And
so this is the second stop in a row that 54 car has put 2 right side tires on.
Ooh.
Not the same scenario for Ryan Blaney. So I'd say right now Blaney feels better about his situation than he did if that was Christopher Bell sitting there.
Keep in mind that last restart, Blaney had a little bit of trouble. Larson was the one that was able to get around them, took off a little bit better than him.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the front row. And we know that being on the front row, getting a little more clean air on the front of that 12 car could put him in a better position.
So you're saying Blaney has equal right sides to Ty Gibbs, but fresher left sides.
I'd have to confirm with my crew chief, because as a driver, I'm not very smart. So.
They all did 4 tires at 248. So they're pretty much equal.
Okay.
Thanks, Larry. Well, last year, both races here had last lap passes for the win. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney beating Brad Keselowski, who was also on an alternate strategy by staying out.
You got some good restarters right here. If Gibbs can get this done.
Well, don't ignore that second row. You've got Kyle Larson.
Exactly what I'm saying.
And you've got Tyler Reddick going for something we thought was impossible last week. It's even more improbable this week.
If Ty Gibbs can hold off these 3 drivers and win this race for his first race,
whoa,
that would be a statement.
Let's give some credit to that 5 team. You know, we talked about how far off we thought that car was at the beginning of the race, and now we're talking about him having a chance to win. That's a huge credit to Cliff Daniels and all of those guys, putting them in a position to work all day.
Look at that roller coaster ride.
Woo. And we all know that Larson is one of the best restarters in the sport. On restarts today, he has gained a total of 11 positions.
It's like a flea. Just can't get rid of him. And on these restarts, he's just wherever everybody else isn't. You saw that on the last restart up on the outside.
You won't believe who's in the top 10. Kyle Busch, after 2 flat tires today.
You're kidding
and
me.
2 free passes. There he is in the top 10. Wow, what a topsy-turvy race this has been.
It's not over yet, Mike.
Nope. This is going to get good.
They will restart with 19 to go. Gibbs outside of Blaney. Larson and Reddick. Byron and McDowell. Hocevar and Bell. Here we go. Into turn 1. Brake lock up there for Reddick. Tosses and catches it. Around the outside comes Larson. And around goes Zane Smith and John Hunter Nemechek. They collect Ty Dillon.
Which is exactly what these 2 tires wanted at a deficit to Bell, and is exactly not what Christopher Bell wanted. He needed this thing to go green.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when that caution came out as to who the leader is. And that's what Clint was talking about earlier, Mike. You just don't know when these cautions are going to fall.
And Ty Gibbs is the leader. At the last scoring loop crossed before the caution light came on is how NASCAR officiates that. That way they don't have people racing into a caution scene trying to gain position. You go back to the last scoring loop. This ties the record for cautions at Phoenix in a 500-kilometer race at 12.
Let's go back and see what happened further back in the field. Look right here, this Hornet's Nest.
4 wide.
It's Stenhouse, 5 wide.
Yes.
Got up in the outside of Zane Smith down into Nemechek.
That all started with Stenhouse.
5 wide, Kevin.
Gosh.
Yeah, it looked like Stenhouse just got into the car there on the outside, and then that shot him back to the left and started that
car
whole
is
thing.
this one right here.
And lucky that wreck wasn't much bigger.
Yep.
We've seen some massive wrecks. That back straightaway is extremely narrow.
What a young season this has been for Zane Smith. He's had some of the most promising runs and some of the hardest hits.
We're wiping them out today, boys.
Yep.
It's not over.
No, you're right.
And we still have some left.
Well, Kyle Larson was especially impressive on that restart, just whipping around the outside.
This car was completely out of it. Yep. I was watching him go through 3 and 4 all day long, completely sideways. That first stage, Cliff Daniels told him, just bear with it here, hold on to it, got big changes coming.
And
never
they're learning.
gave up.
They're learning with this new body. I mean, you know that when you have a new body like that, you have to work through some balance issues and what the car likes, what it reacts to, what's working. So a little bit of all of this learning is on the fly. You learn some in practice and some in qualifying, but as you go through the race, now you're starting to hit on things that are starting to make the car better.
Okay, I'm glad you said this. We're learning. There's a kid leading this race that just learned something. What did he learn that he could put to better use this next restart?
Well, he learned that Kyle Larson's going to go to the top side if he goes to the bottom, but if he goes to the top, he's going to go to the bottom too. So he's going to go wherever you're not.
I'm not giving him the outside.
No.
Again.
Regan?
Well, Mike, Ty Gibbs out front leading the race. A big part of that was the quick pit work that happened on the stop previously. Jackson Gibbs, which is Ty's cousin. Tell me, do you guys practice these mad ups that you had right here, like in pit practice, or is that just something you do instinctively?
I think he just has fun trying to run me over each time. So I just get better at just avoiding that each time, I'd say.
Well, that was some fancy footwork there. We enjoyed watching it. What do you think about Ty being out front?
Hey, the jump was a little unnecessary, wouldn't you say, Jackson?
I agree. I think you're right. That's my brother Miller. Photobombing that.
All right, Mike, we're having fun down here. These guys are out front, and it's looking good for the 54.
I think that'd make a great Olympic sport, jumping over and across a speeding, accelerating race car. And we see it every week. It's routine here.
Family tradition going on right there, the Gibbs family. That's cool to see.
Clint, I agree with you. I don't see how Ty can afford to give Larson the top lane on this restart.
Well, I want to see where he chooses. It's going to be his choice first. It's going to be so important, but I think I'm going to pin him down on the bottom, and I've learned my lesson.
Let's go back to the last scoring loop crossed before the light came on, and that is how close it was from our ghost car.
It's a game of inches.
Yep. So let's say Gibbs takes the top, and we don't yet know. What do you do if you're Ryan Blaney? Where do you go? Who do you want to follow on the restart?
Well, he doesn't want to follow anybody.
Well, I know, but now he may not have a choice.
Now he's, but I'm saying he's in a worse spot than he was on the last restart because of now he's not going to be any better than the second row.
I think he goes to the inside, and I think he tries to dive bomb on all on the bottom going into one.
I think you just have to be patient. As long as I'm inside, if I have 8 or 9 laps legitimately, I still think I can win with this 12 car if I'm Ryan Blaney. Struggling a little bit with the takeoff speed on these restarts tells me it's probably a little bit loose, Kevin, because of his strong suit on the long runs. But these cycles on the tires and everything else could help that a little bit. It just needs a few laps to get that 12 car rolling.
Well, I think the 54 car right here needs to probably mix this restart up a little bit. Ryan Blaney was able to be tire to tire with him going into turn one. So you need to mix it up right here and do something different taking off.
Choosing outside.
As did Blaney. Now in that third row, well, you got William Byron right there. You have Michael McDowell up in the top 5, and we know how aggressive he can be. Tyler Reddick is still in the top half dozen, trying to win that 4th race in a row. Hamlin, Bell, Wallace, Hocevar, the top 10. If they're not 4 wide going into turn 1, I'll be a bit surprised.
Well, and it actually worked out good that Kyle Larson was second. That keeps him from being able to go into that top lane. But now the play is, will Larson just drive it in there and slide you? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely. But don't let him entice you to overdrive your race car, get loose, and give this thing away. Keep him pinned down. Get a good jump. Get through the gearbox.
Ty Gibbs had his best finish of the season last week at COTA, top 5, looking for his first career win. It'll be 12 laps to go when they come to the line and go back to green.
Lot better start for Ty Gibbs. Some help on his bumper with Blaney.
And if you're Blaney, you want to do everything you can to clear that 5 car as fast as possible.
Christopher Bell way down to the bottom and gaining ground. He's going to come out of this in the top 4.
Absolutely, Mike. Here he comes.
Larson rebounds for 3rd. Bell side by side for 4th. Byron right there.
See Blaney really shoot into the outside hard. He knows he has to go, and he has to go quick because those 4 tires are coming. The crossover, Kev.
Yeah, Bell has now put himself in a position to he can take advantage of those 4 tires. And like you say, Blaney has got to make this happen really quick.
Got loose.
Gibbs holds the lead in the back straightaway. Single file through the top 5.
Well, if you're Ryan Blaney, that's what you wanted. You wanted him to think that you were going to go high. He's got
here he comes
car on the ropes right here.
Shortcut for Blaney will get him the lead going into the corner.
He's clear. Shot way up. Crossover.
Can he hold it now off the corner?
This has been his strong suit the whole time. He's into the lead. What a show this guy has put on today.
Coming to 9 laps to go.
So many times they put that 12 car back in the back. Mishaps on the restarts, not being able to put himself in position, but when it is counted right here at the end of this race, Ryan Blaney has put himself in position with coming to 8 laps to go to win this race, and that just is purely because of the speed of that car today, and a great job by Ryan Blaney navigating it through traffic.
Still a lot of racing left. I am a huge fan of Ty Gibbs and Larson. If I'm Blaney, you hold them 4 tires up as much as you can. I do not want a green-white checkered with somebody on a better tire advantage than I am, and that somebody being just as good as I am with Christopher Bell.
Denny Hamlin coming back up to 7th. Battle for 2nd place there. Gibbs, Larson, Bell. Bell with the fresher tires. Christopher Bell on the bottom. If he completes this pass, he'll have 6 laps left to go after Ryan Blaney.
Well, he's got it done right here.
Clear.
Gibbs ran the 5-car high in 3 and 4 and opened the door up and gave Bell an easy opportunity at a 2-for-1 pass.
Well, he's got a second to make up in about 7 laps, so 6 laps now.
Last lap, Bell was only half a tenth quicker. That's not enough to make up that deficit.
He was in passes, making passes. I think you're going to probably see this lap, the first one where he can.
Yeah, this will be the first lap to tell the true story of where the speed is. The speed difference is between the front 2 cars, but I think with clean air, it's going to be very unlikely for Ryan Blaney to give up that gap in a short amount of time. But
well, that's what Blaney needed, was fresh air. That Ford didn't work so well in traffic, but Blaney found a way to get it to the front, and he holds the gap on Christopher Bell.
Doing such a great job at utilizing that apron, making good time in the bottom of 1 and 2.
If you add up all the cars Ryan Blaney has passed today, it comes to 49.
Wow.
It's amazing. What a performance. Got through that corner very good.
And every time he passes turn 1, that's where the big Penske tent suite is. After the big event last night celebrating the Team Penske 60th anniversary, after listening to the IndyCar drivers talking about how they won one for Roger yesterday, the pressure is on. Logano, Cindric, Blaney today to deliver for the captain.
Yeah, and this has been such a great racetrack for Team Penske. They've won championships. Ryan Blaney won his championship here, winning the race. And
that's the first lap I saw inside of a 10th, right? He actually caught him about a 10th of a second there that lap. Just hit your marks, baby.
Ryan Blaney coming to 2 to go, and Bell has chopped it down inside 0.6 of a second.
There's another big cut into it, 28.47 to a 28.30.
Well, like you say, Clint, you just have to hit your mark. I like Ryan Blaney's car down on the bottom of this racetrack on both ends. That's where Christopher Bell wants to be right now. And I just parked that thing on the bottom to do all I can do for the next 2 laps to make sure it doesn't miss that line. No big mistakes.
Both races last year here decided by a last lap pass. White flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Half a second. Might as well be from here to eternity.
What a roller coaster of a day. Battled adversity, troubles in the pits, fast race car, past the field not once but twice. Unbelievable.
That's what a championship team does, Clint. They've been here before.
To complete the weekend sweep for the most admired man in American motorsports, Ryan Blaney wins for Ford and Roger Penske.
Yeah. Good job.
capping a huge weekend in Phoenix. Blaney gets his 18th career win and his second at Phoenix.
Well, he earned that one.
That is a
Great
fact.
job there, bud. Great job.
What a day.
I believe that was the captain.
Look down through the field. Thought Bubba Wallace was down and out, 6th place. Byron, he just hang in there for a steady. William Byron finished the top 10. McDowell with a 9th place top 10. Jones with a well-earned top 10.
Yeah, Eric Jones, what a comeback for him. He was a lap down early on.
Keep going down through it. SVG 11th. These are
nice
saved the
one for
day.
Eric.
These cautions saved the day for a lot of those guys.
It's the 157th NASCAR career win for Team Penske. 4th on the all-time list. 10 different drivers scored those victories.
Pushed him into second in points.
7 of them have come here at Phoenix. First win of the season for Ford after Toyota swept the first 3 races.
For anybody other than Reddick.
Well, yes.
It is definitely a racetrack that we expected Ryan Blaney and Team Penske to be in the conversation, and they did a great job. Joey Logano up there all day, but this guy right here put on an absolute clinic getting through traffic, and shows why we all talk about how good that race car is in traffic and on the long runs.
And never giving up. You said that about Larson, right? I heard you say that. I'm like, how about Blaney? Just keeping his head down and just kept digging.
2 loose wheels on different stops early in the race. That'd be enough to get any driver down. And I think all it did was motivate Ryan Blaney to blast his way back to the front, which he did repeatedly, passing 49 cars today on his way to a very popular victory here. He will capture the flag and pass it off to a young fan. How about that? Jamie.
And Ryan Blaney, nothing about today was easy for you. Back to the front multiple times. 49 passes. Your car's starting to roll away here, Ryan. But what a day. Hold on, he's got to stop the car. It's rolling backwards over the start-finish line. Got it in gear. There it is. The restarts were not your friend. And Christopher Bell was lights out all day. How did you overcome all that to end up right here for your first victory of the year?
Yeah, that was almost really bad, by the way. No, I mean, just perseverance. You know, I mean, everybody on the 12 group persevered all day. We had a couple mistakes that, you know, we learned from and got better and had to come from the back a couple times. And honestly, the 20 was the best car. But Jonathan made a great call to take 2. And we were able to get the lead and just hold him off. I don't know how many more laps I would have been able to hold him off, but we were able to do that. So really proud of everybody. At Team Penske, so cool. We swept the weekend. Newgarden winning yesterday, us winning today. Can't wait to see Roger. Appreciate Dent Wizard, Ford Racing for what they do. Menards, Wabash, Discount Tire, Body Armor, Advanced Auto Parts, Dex Imaging, everything that these people put into our program's cool. And so it's cool to win here again. And especially after a day like that. So I can't say enough about the 12 guys for keeping their head down and doing what they do, and Jonathan, again, for making a good call there at the end.
Ryan, I heard throughout the Penske organization there was a lot of pressure on you guys today to get that sweep. All the sponsors are here. Roger wanted that sweep so bad. On top of all of that, it's your first win as a dad. All of those things, what does this moment mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Unbelievable. Honestly, when I crossed the finish line, I thought of Charlie and Gianna and wish they were here. I know they're watching. Look forward to seeing y'all tonight. But yeah, it just hits differently. Obviously winning feels great, but going home to my family, my wife, my son, it's even better. So that's just cherry on top. So looking forward to getting home. And thank you, everybody who came out this weekend. Awesome weekend, guys. Hope to do it again soon. Thank you.
Well, Christopher Bell comes home in the second place today. Christopher, 176 laps led. Looked like you guys did everything right. Was it just a matter of that last caution not giving you enough time to get back up there?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we had more green flag laps, I think we could have, made a run at them. But I don't know. You win some, you lose some. And this one stings. But on a positive side, I'm really proud of our entire team. The pit crew did amazing. Adam brought an amazing car. Our engineers, our mechanics did really good. and it's something to build on. I don't know. It was a day that we needed. We got a lot of stage points, finished second. So, yeah, not just bummed whenever they get away like that.
All right, thanks for talking to us. Let's see if we can walk back here. And Kyle Larson looking like he's finishing up a radio interview right now. So we'll come back here and check in with Ty Gibbs. Ty, fantastic run for you today. You guys really did everything good and smooth on the racetrack, just what we talked about this morning.
Yeah, we were really good today. And, yeah, I don't know. That's unfortunate. But we'll keep rolling. And, I think I could have done some things better there. Yeah, unfortunate there, but very, happy with my team and, all the guys. I'm with the right guys, and that makes a difference. And so, we're running good because of that, and it shows. So, really happy with my team. Everybody's done a great job. Everybody believes in me, and we all believe in each other. So, happy with that. Thank you to AMPM. Car looks great. I mean, it's so rubbered up you can't even see the number, but very happy with today and how everything went. Congrats to 12 bunch. They were really fast, and yeah, I'll just keep working and getting better and see where I could do better. Thought the show was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how they're racing. Like, I had a lot of fun. I mean, it kind of sucks I didn't win, but that we had a lot of fun racing out there. It probably looked cool. So we'll keep rolling. Thank you to the man above and all my guys that believe in me and everybody that that's really loyal. So really appreciate that.
All right, nice job today. We can see the confidence building there. We'll step back here one more position. Denny Hamlin with his first top 5 of the year. Denny, a great job by you guys to have a solid performance all day long. What was it from your perspective?
Yeah, it's just a fringe top 3 to 4 car all day. That's kind of all we had. The 20 and the 12 are obviously a little standouts there, but yeah, great job by our Bob's Furniture Camry. Just need to be a little better. There's not much else you can say. We'll download, figure out how we can be a little better, but it seemed like a couple of our teammates there were really good that we can learn from. So good top 5, and we'll move on.
All right, nice job today, Denny, and we're going to send this back to Jamie, who's got your driver right now.
And that would be Tyler Reddick. Of course, he's the man of the season, won the first 3 races of the year, and all good things must come to an end, Tyler. No 4-peat for you guys. Great effort, though, battle within the top 10. Take us through your day.
Yeah, we just kind of found handling a little bit. It seemed like our Jordan Brand Toyota Camry had good speed. It was just kind of back and forth on which direction we think we needed to go with our Camry, and so we kind of just hovered around 5th all day, and we took those 2 tires there. It got a little tight on us at the end, but all in all, yeah, would have been nice to make it 4, but looking at the board over here, scored the fourth most amount of points on the day. That's kind of what we need to just keep doing all year to keep the lead that we have and try and hang on to it. So, yeah, just solid day. If we're not going to win, these are the kind of days we need to have, and glad to get out of here with some points.
All right, we'll see you in Las Vegas. Regan.
Kyle Larson, 3rd place finish, and then where did that come from type of performance, Kyle, at the start of the day? If I'd have told you were going to finish 3rd, what would you say?
Well, I'd have been very happy. So yeah, I was not happy to start the race, really not happy all weekend, but just proud of the team. We definitely know how to fight to get a good finish here at Phoenix. We do it every single time. We're never good here, so it's not a surprise that we weren't great, but this is probably as bad as we've been at Phoenix, but we still come away with a 3rd like we typically do here. So I think that's 3 third-place finishes in a row here. But yeah, just proud of the team. It took a lot of fight. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of work to do here, but excited to get to Vegas next week, see what we have on a mile and a half, and you'll go to work. But happy to put together 2 solid finishes in a row here and just continue to build on it.
All right, nice job. Thanks.
Thanks, Regan. Well, the win did not get away from Ryan Blaney, even though his car almost did as he went to give the post-race interview.
That's how fast that thing was. Wanted to go on its own.
12 caution flags here. Well, that tied the record, gave the fans, plenty to watch and point at. But wow, what a place to see a race.
I tell you, it was wild, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't know what to keep an eye on. I mean, the obvious is the job. You cannot state how good a job that Blaney and everybody on that 12 car did. I mean, he was out. He was back in. He never gave up. That was probably as solid as a performance as I've seen in this Gen 7 car.
Well, I said it before. It's a championship performance. It's a team that knows how to grind things out and put themselves in a position to understand the scenario that it's not good when you go to the back twice, but you have a race car that is capable of winning. So frustrated driver, frustrated pit crew, all the things that happened, they were able to overcome that and put themselves right back in a position at the end to get a victory.
It was the Bell and Blaney show, kind of as we expected, and I don't think it's the last time we're going to see this year.
I would agree with that. Christopher Bell had the fastest car, I think, there at the end of the race, but just didn't work out with the strategy, and they were able to bring it home second, and a solid day for him.
Tore a lot of good cars up, right? There was a lot of shake-up again in points. We talked about this being kind of a regular season, back to everything as we know it, and that's exactly what it was.
Right. This and the next 6 races are all tracks that will be in the chase to decide the championship. So next Sunday from Las Vegas, NASCAR Race Day, 2:30 Eastern, and the NASCAR Cup Race 4 Eastern, all on FS1.